Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 five-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
What's going on, everybody? Evening time tonight. Trigger Mike at night. Trigger Mike late night. How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network, the dopest network on YouTube. Oh, just hit that good face wash, man. I had to come looking good for y'all, get the beard clean and whatnot. How y'all doing this evening? Hopefully everybody got home safe. Almost didn't stream with y'all. It was raining like hell out here in the Houston area. Mother-in-law, well, stepmother-in-law, I guess that's what they call it, came over. Couldn't even let her out the house. She came with the her daughter's baby. Oh man. So yeah, almost didn't get a chance to get up with y'all this evening. Had to make sure they got home safe. Storming out here. For those of y'all that don't know, man, we on the coast here in H-Town. And when it rains, oh yeah, it rains. It pours out here. But shout out to everybody, man. Hopefully y'all had a good night. Hopefully you had a good dinner. I had a terrible freaking day. I had to take my car in to the auto electric shop. Those of y'all that have ever been to an auto electric shop, you already know it's not good news. Most of the stuff that deals with electrical, meaning the fuse box and the components and the radio and the dash, the wiring for that stuff you can't even see. So imagine how it got to get fixed. I remember going with one of my dad's friends or going to his house. He worked as a mechanic during the day while he was building up money to start his own shop. He bought a house with a garage on the side. You should have seen it. This dude had a dream, man. He said he could fix stuff that didn't need to be lifted. He did that all day. He had like a hand lift, but he eventually built a lift, a real lift in that extra side garage he had. But I watched that dude tear the floor, the padding on the floor off to rewire all of the stuff from the door to the AC unit. It all ran underneath the car like that. So, yeah, man, bad news. I'm having water from this rain that I'm talking about dripped into my fuse box. So, yeah, I'm having a time. I'm having a time. I only pay diagnostic fees today just to diagnose this, diagnose that. That gets on my nerves. I could fix a lot of stuff on a car, but once you get into the auto electric, it's no joke. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how many YouTube videos you watch. You ruin the electrical components in your car, you're gonna have to take it to them anyway. So don't mess with that, man. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. But either way, still blessed. Still blessed. It's all good. We'll make it through. You know how we do. We just keep on keeping on. Shout out to everybody, man. Salute to all the viewers nationwide and international. I know some of y'all, it's late. It's the middle of the night now. For all our people watching in the UK, y'all sleep. Y'all going to have to catch this in the morning, but it's going to be a good one. I promise. It's going to be a good one. We got some stuff to talk about today. Man, Charming Clown says, I miss cars having little electrical. Well, we can't even say that, though, because we love them having all the tech. Don't you love how your phone syncs up and you can use Google in the car? All of that. Cars are going to be riddled. Beforehand, back in the 90s, early 2000s, it was only the higher end cars that had all of these electrical problems. BMWs are known for auto electric problems because they're always putting the newest technology in cars, the cutting edge stuff. But all of that comes at a price. All right. All of it comes at a price. Eli. Eli. Y'all. My bad, y'all. I had to get the little boy straight. Goodness gracious, that boy got out of his bed talking about his bum hurt. Either way. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, man. So I'm definitely. I was trying to push it till next summer. It was gonna be this summer. I'm gonna push it till next summer. Cause I need a truck. But I don't even want to get a big like Ram truck. They're gonna start slashing prices, but I don't even think I'm gonna do it like that because it's not practical for me right now unless I buy 2 cars. I need something. I'm the primary transport person in this house, so I work from home, so I could take my kids to school every morning, pick them up, bus them back and forth to their activities. So me getting a big ass truck is not practical for me right now. All right, so there's I don't know. There's a Lexus GX coming out. That's a pretty penny though, but I don't even think that's good on gas. The new Toyota Land Cruiser is coming out. And the reason I'm looking at that is because I'm probably going to have that car for life. That thing is bad. Go look at it. The Land Cruiser, if you don't know, is an age-old tradition. They love that car in Africa, but it's like a luxury version they got coming out because I need I'll keep the car I got, fix it up, do all that type of stuff for the car feel, the sporty car feel, but I need a truck too for all the classes that I run. All right, so I need to be able to throw all my gun gear back there. I want to get they got these dope little racks that you keep in the car that lock, so you can keep all your artillery. So if anybody will ever want to hold war on the street, I'm ready for that. Right. So yeah, I might get that Land Cruiser. They got the 20, I think it's 24 edition coming out soon. Go check that out on YouTube. When that thing got unveiled, I'm not getting the first, the base model. There's one above the base model. Go look at how clean that bad boy looks. And I don't know if y'all know about Toyotas. One of my customers that buys that orders weapons from me or guns from me, he has 6 Land Cruisers. 6 of them shits. That's how popular and rare they are. He has 6 Land Cruisers. He does this business where he just tricks out cars, but he took a liking to the Land Cruiser. Right? So yeah. So it's a G-Wagon. It's basically a G-Wagon. That's why I don't know if I want the Lexus version, which is dope. That's coming out next year if it's not already out. And then the Land Cruiser version. So we'll see. But honestly, I hate this new car stuff, man, because cars cost money these days. It's not even a game. It's not even a game. But how y'all doing this evening, man? Support the show. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej Hanley, 30% off along with a free gift. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and grab that Teej pack. The link is down in the description. Get that uncomplicated skincare for men. All right. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Oh, we got 84 people watching. How many likes we got? Mods, help me out. 53 likes. Let's get that up to 65. Let's get that up to 65 likes right now. If you are feeling the Trigger Mike show and you're a fan of it, please hit that like button right now. We got 53 likes. Get that up. Appreciate that. All right, man. So do me a favor, as I always ask you on the Trigger Mike show, as I always ask you, go ahead and share this out. Not only like it, but hit the share button and share this out to your Facebook news feed. Share this out to your Instagram chat. If you're on your phone, it gives you a direct line to share this to Instagram. So make sure you help me out and do that. All right. Let me see. I actually shared this on Facebook before. So now I'm about to share it on Instagram. Share this out to Chic Critique, Anissa, Chaotic, Dark Lake. Yep, just go ahead and start pressing names. Send. Anybody you can think of just to let them know we are live and we got one hell of a banger going on tonight. I want everybody up on this one, man, because I'm trying to get JR back. He out doing, dad work right now. But I don't want to play the video because it's going to ding the platform. You know how they do. That's a real media outlet. So if we play it, don't matter if you put fair use or not, it's going to ding the platform. But I want him to extract the audio. So before we get into tonight's topic, How many of y'all saw that show last night that we did? That was a JR special request. He wanted to do that show so bad because of a conversation that we had after she critiqued last Friday that he decided to give King Talk a break for a week. What did y'all think about that show last night? I thought it was dope. Woo, isn't it good just to hear black people talk? Just talk. What's going on in the community? How is it affecting us? What can we see from the future? What do we hope for? What is holding us back? Sometimes I just like mellow panels. I know that we all watch these panels and Fight Club and rah rah and you a bitch and you a bitch ass. And oh, that shit gets old, man. Sometimes the talk needs to be progressive. That shit gets old. Damn. I understand that toxicity sells. But every once in a while, you got to put that away and talk about some real stuff. What are our thoughts about what's going on? Let's level set. That was a good level setting conversation last night. I hope y'all agree. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just type in Lapeef Network in the search bar. I don't even remember the title, but that lady was in the she's like reading a book, looking very provocative in the thumbnail. So you'll know which one I'm talking about. It's the video from just yesterday, just last night. Excellent video. But shout out to everybody that came through, man. Yeah, when you get a chance, Charming Clown, go check that one out. Dope convo. I think you'll like it. I actually think you'll like it. Dale Matthews said, "What is Fight Club?" That is Friday nights. Aaron O be holding that one down. They've done a few. I haven't actually been on in a while. I do She Critique now, and yo, I'm tired. I started, reading stuff that basically said I'm not getting enough sleep, and they right. I don't even know why I was trying to launch my YouTube career and get as much visibility as possible, but shit, y'all know me now. So I'm gonna tone that visibility down. That shit is late. I can't do that stuff every night. I can't do it. I can't do it. What's up with y'all, man? So let's talk about it. Who we got in the chat real quick? Who we got in the chat? Jordan White, what's going on? Came in and asked me a question. She said, Trigger Mike, without getting too personal, can you give us examples of what you saw in your wife that made you say she's the one? Respectfully asking. And please tell her hi. Haven't done that yet. I'll tell her. She gets really tired around this time of night. This lady is a 9 o'clock bedtime person. She's so boring during the week. She's so boring. All right, but I replied to that. This is an excellent question. I actually get it all the time in my Instagram chat. Instagram DMs. See, some of y'all, shout out to Jordan White for this. Shout out to Jordan White for this, because what I've noticed is that a lot of you ladies are afraid. Some ladies may be afraid, and let me know if I'm misinterpreting this. A lot of ladies are afraid to be open with their actual dialogue and questions, right? It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction to throw flames and do all that stuff. So they'll ask me stuff in secret. I always appreciate the people that'll ask me out in the open, because they're not afraid of the answer and they actually want to know. So shout out to you for doing that. I wish more women would just ask us the questions you want to know. Don't be timid. Don't be shy. Don't think that YouTube is only for throwing flames and being toxic. You can ask me real life, real world questions. The one thing I can tell y'all up here that I ain't lie to y'all. I have not lied. I feel like I have been 100% authentic Mike the entire time I've been up here, because I that's the reason I came up here in the first place. I felt like there were too little versions of, I did not see an accurate representation of me a lot. And the men that are married and the men that want to project themselves being good fathers, that's not the stance most of them take on these platforms. They're here to throw flames too. My family and my life is not the afterthought. It is my foremost image. If I project anything out here, I'm letting everybody know I'm a husband first, father second, and whatever socially constructed title y'all give me, all of that is tertiary. My primary role on this earth, my biological imperative, is to be a husband and a father. All right. I want my gold star from God. I want to be head of the class. I'm the teacher's pet. You damn right. You heard it from me. But what I responded to her was gladly. I'll gladly respond to that. She was pleasant and kind. She had a balanced demeanor and she was very feminine. She still is. She was very vocal about wanting a family, not just a career. That has a little bit to do with what we're talking about here tonight, right? I had to have her after that. The saddest thing I think I've ever witnessed, and if I'm thinking about it now and going back into my memory banks, it should not have been that way. Because what's going on now is crazy. A lot of men are searching for the most feminine woman. This is something I think a lot of men aren't speaking up about. We've covered this on shows in the past. All women think they're good women. When are y'all gonna man up and tell them that that isn't the case? All women think they're dope. All women think they're a good catch. All women think a man would be lucky to marry them. But y'all aren't being vocal enough. If you are worthy of marriage, if you are worthy of being a husband, if you've done the work and you're willing to cooperate and get with a woman and marry her, live under the same roof, provide, if you're ready to do all of that, you need to be the most honest person in this society by saying, woman, you do not qualify. Yo Gotti said it best. That used to be one of my favorite songs. You disqualified, shorty. You disqualified. You disqualified, shorty. You disqualified. And one of the things I can say is that right before I got married, or I'm sorry, not married, but right before I got back into this relationship with my wife, because we were together when she was doing her master's, and then we broke up, and then I went into the Navy, and then I was doing my master's, and then I moved to Houston. She moved from Virginia to Baltimore to Philly, and she just said, you know what? That's the dude. He ain't gonna move for me. Him. He's not moving for me. I'm likely gonna move for him. And she did. And I honored her sacrifice. A lot of you ladies are afraid to do that. Y'all are afraid that a man won't honor your sacrifice. But sad to say, if some of y'all don't take the leap, you'll never get the ring. If some of y'all don't take the leap, you'll never get the ring. Shut up, Aunt. I've been old to y'all. Let y'all tell it. Some of y'all don't take the leap, you'll never get the ring. Imagine finding the man you say you want, but you aren't willing to acquiesce to get him. Here's the weird thing about what I think Ebony K Williams was talking about in that video. This lady made a dramatic turnaround from I ain't dating no bus driver. Y'all remember that? Just a few months ago, I ain't dating no bus driver if he owns the bus. Then try to double it up with another video clip. Then went on the Breakfast Club, got her ass thrashed by Envy and Charlemagne. And now this lady sat with herself, with her thoughts. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna sound a bit arrogant. I think this lady probably went on YouTube. If you want to know, if people dragging you, go on Instagram or go on YouTube. I would not be surprised if any of our names in this space, in this black media content creation space, and I mean the men, because we all dragged her ass. Angry Man dragged her. I dragged her. A lot of people dragged her. Jason Black dragged her. A lot of people dragged her ass. Okay? I know. You know, my greatest video got like 10,000. I'm not one of these big 50,000 people, but they watch our videos. Okay, I was getting 2,000 in January, and I got my greatest video got like 10 stacks. I'll be there one day, I promise you. But I know one of those things has to be celebrity or somebody whose face is in that thumbnail. They will click on it. They will click on it. JR is very good with these titles. He knows how to get people watching. And I know that somebody cannot, I know Ebony K Williams sat with herself and she had to listen to what other people are saying. She had to listen to the facts. You cannot fight facts with emotion. And the worst part is that most of her formed opinion was formed incorrectly. It was all inaccurate. Even in this statement that she made on this particular thing about women and degrees, it's all inaccurate. All right. She is the first of many women. It's going to be a domino effect. Okay. I've been telling y'all, and now everybody want to run from it. I've been in the chats all day. I've been in the chats all day telling all the homies, I told you so. I told you they listening. They just got a weird way of doing it. I told you one day they're going to have to sit with what we said. They act like they don't hear us, but they're going to sit with what we said and think about that shit. I've been trolling my dudes all day. All the homies. Like I told y'all last. What are they going to do? This is what's probably going to happen. What do y'all think? My chat is smart on this show. Y'all are smart. What do y'all think is the turning point for most women? I want you to peep the irony. She says it in the video, and I'm going to wait for JR to pull that audio for me. But she says it in the video that she's 40 years old. So what do y'all think the turning point is or will be for most women seeking relationships? If they've been toxic, if they've been thinking about it the wrong way, if they think they are the prize, if they think men need to go seek them out and they're too good for the average man, what do you think the turning point is for most of these women? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to read those aloud because we're going to get to the bottom of it tonight. I got questions, good questions. I've extracted some questions from that video. We're going to talk about it because she made some claims. She even took a little bit of a dig. Have y'all seen the video? It's going all over. It's going all over right now. Instagram. It's on Spiritual Word, Shade Room. Everybody talking about it. RP Tipsy Nomad said 40-45. My man EBD says the turning point is when black women start listening to black men. All right. All right, bet. He extracted it. Got it. So let me drop this, Brandon. We're going to get into this video from Ebony K Williams real quick. So y'all stay tuned. And we're going to dissect this in detail, step by step, clip by clip, or rather objective by objective. She gave us a lot of objectives to unpack tonight, so we're going to do that.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding.
All right. So let's talk about that. That is the first question, and I'm going to bring that up. So I wanted to talk about that particular thing really quickly. Do our options increase? Because I think that's Malevolent Elephant on Instagram that I read one of his replies. Malevolent said that's high earning men. And Malevolent, I actually disagree. Here's why. The highest value of men, of course, is always going to be the highly competent, high earning male. High yield, high productivity, high yield, highly competent male. That will always be the most desirable and the most sought after man. Of course, we know that. That is true. But I want you to understand something about this value proposition that men bring. You have to understand that older men are still attractive to younger women. And it's not just the fact that they're older. Even being a little bit settled in life. I've actually realized this talking to my students, talking to my instructors, people that are a little bit younger than me. When you just know stuff in life, when you're able to explain things, when you are so experienced at what you do and you have gained a level of competence that it just rolls off your tongue and it's easy, women love that shit. It's something in their anatomy that cannot help but to go weak at the knees for a competent ass man. They want to follow him. They want to do what he says. I mean, ladies, y'all in the chat, y'all can let me know. If I'm capping, let me know. Y'all want to follow it. I think it's biological that women need to feel safe, and they feel that safety in the hands of a competent male. So think about it like this. Even a man that is doing pretty average for himself in life, when he's 40, let's say, and this is the way men actually get down, especially black men. I'll give you an example. I know, and this is why some of this stuff really gets on my nerves when people say black men don't go to college. I know black men that have been working back where I'm from for the shipyard for a while, since they were 18. I'm sorry. Most of the men that I know back in VA where I'm from, 757, Stand Up, 7 Cities, Hampton Roads, some of these people have been working for the shipyard since they were 14. They plucked them into the apprenticeship program. They would go to school and then go to the apprenticeship. 14 years old. All black men from my school. Everybody was black. Okay? Everybody was black in my high school, damn near. All right? Pluck these kids to go work at the shipyard for the apprenticeship. They learn something. Most of them still work there. I'm 36 years old. That is 22 years, 23 years if they were junior, senior, whatever. 20 plus years working for the same organization, government organization, mind you. These men have time in. They are extremely competent. I knew some of them that went from welders or stuff like that to full-on metallurgist engineers, those type of engineers, chemists type stuff too. These men are extremely competent at what they do. They have acquired assets for themselves. For some reason, where I'm from in VA, everybody got an Acura. They got a few cars, maybe. They're doing well. They got a townhouse in a fly-ass part of town. They have been making money since they were 14 years old. A 36-year-old man with that type of life is extremely attractive to a 25-year-old woman. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If there's a woman that's his age, she might have a lot to say. Oh, I mean, he doing all right, but a 25-year-old woman, this dude is doing it. She got to have him. Anytime she gets a little horny and she just want to call him and he got his own spot, come through. I got wine at the mini bar. He got that little mini bar set up from Sam's Club. All this shit impresses the young girls, and it's just what you do on a day-to-day. You just piece this stuff together in your life over time. That is what we mean and what she means. It's actually true. You can be average and still be extremely valuable to someone.
And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year.
All right, listen. I swear I thought she was trolling at this point. Given the year that this woman has had, meaning Ebony K Williams, given the year that she has had, I thought she was trolling. Listen, look, I'm not trying to dig at y'all, but for a B-dub, this is an extremely fast psychological turnaround. Am I wrong? This is a Thanos level Infinity Stone snap of monumental proportions. We can't get some of us are still waiting on I'm sorry's from 2020. Some of us are still waiting for an I apologize about that because all they try to do was smooth it over with some booty, but they ain't apologize fully. In the same year, this woman talked about she wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owns the bus. That lady, not that we expect her to date a bus driver. I don't want to get on that train again. We've kicked that can as far as we can kick it down the road. I don't want to start on that. But she went from that to a woman's value is decreasing over time. This is monumental growth. This is monumental growth. JR, JR not back there. He must have closed his computer. Damn it. Oh, well, I'll be back. Get those likes up, people. Let me get these super chats read. I think his computer died. Let me hit him up on the sound went away. All right, let me get these super chats real quick. My man, Big Ants, $10. Appreciate it. Mike, you know where there's a beautiful single sister with no tattoos or BBLs or fake hair or fake nails or fake eyelashes, or can complete a full sentence without saying like and a nice attitude? I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Let me not be dramatic here, but Ant, let me tell you something. Aside from all the bickering that we're doing on YouTube and all the gender war BS, this is the question people are supposed to be asking. Y'all have gotten too caught up in dating that you forgot this is where the courting process started. We used to, the same way, listen, I just hired, let me see, let me count on my wall here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 instructors into my program. I just hired 8 instructors into my program. They were all personal referrals. I'm not going through that BS if it's not written in human resources that I got to do so. I'm not going through that random. That's for the birds. If you want to know why most people don't call you back when you apply for a job, it's because the referral or somebody that already worked there is going to take it. Posting the job was just a formality. 8 new hires, all by referral. This is the way we used to get down in the community. Mike, do you know a woman with such and such characteristics? I don't, but you know what? My homeboy might. Or I do, but you know, man, she got a little bit of tattoos on her shoulder. If you don't mind that, get to know her a little bit. I think you'll like her, though. I think you'll like her. We used to do all of this by referral. You out here just meeting random people? We out here just meeting random people? Nah. That don't work. Obviously, it does not work. Marriage, politics, and sports. Definitely using the YouTube talking points. Indeed. So let me drop the link and get y'all to come up. I got questions for y'all based off this Ebony K Williams interview that we're talking about. All right. So not interview, but her broadcast. She brought up some interesting points. And I want the ladies, if Anissa, come on up. I know you're available in nighttime. I want you to speak on this too, because this is a lot of deep conversation we can have on this tonight. We can have some deep convo. Not only do I want to know what the men are thinking about what she said, I want to know what the women are thinking about what she said. I want to know I want to know how y'all, if y'all believe that, you know what, let me just bring up my man Payne. What's going on? All right, y'all make sure y'all come up. We're going to chop it up about this one, but good. I'm going to get the first question to you. Does a man's value increase with time, like she said?
Yeah, of course.
And
That's
why?
how the natural order of things is that men don't hit their financial and mature stride until they're in their 30s, right?
Yep.
You get your job or your profession or your business, gonna start clicking until you're mature enough to run it properly. You're in your 30s. Some people say you don't make the most money until you're after 45.
Yeah.
You know, in a regular typical job. So yeah, if you're single and you've been meticulous and not, leaving babies behind, you're very valuable as a man. There's no doubt about that. And this whole notion that you need to, cleave to older women as you get a little older is just simply not true. It's not. You want to, especially if you want children and you don't have any, you got to go to a younger woman. And what Ebony K Williams said is exactly what we've been talking about in these spaces for years. She sounded like Kevin Samuel's disciple. She got some of the statistics wrong about college and stuff like that. I mean, she was acting like there's like one man in college and everybody else is a woman. That's not true. And it's really women who come out of college not ready to marry because the feminists and everybody told them to get stroked down for their whole 20s. And so, but men, if they find the right woman, they're gonna pop the question, and especially if they don't want to fool around because sex doesn't come to most men the way sex comes to women, So if you find somebody who's vetted and courted properly, you want to lock her down, and if you do that early, that's what you want to do. So yeah, your value goes up. She's absolutely right about that. And you could just tell that she has some kind of epiphany as she's going through this struggle at 40 years old, even trying to get pregnant because she's still trying to do that. So
I think she ran into reality somewhere along the way, and it hit her as hard as that brick. Only because you don't change your opinion unless somebody has shown something to you or you've seen something, right? You see it before you believe it. Everybody of her ilk, 40 years old, I'm beautiful, I'm with grace, and of course I'm more valuable. I have my degree, I have all this money, I have this job. All of that amounts to absolutely no value to a man. None. None of it matters to us. What matters to us is our legacy, right? What we leave behind. We accrue all of our wealth, our power, our knowledge, so that we can leave it behind to our children for them to manage it, right? We make life easier for those who come behind us any which way we can to provide for our children and make sure that they're on a good footing. And the only way to do this is not with a woman who's in her 40s or late 30s, because they're already kind of older and they're jaded and they actually think that they don't need you for anything. When you actually start dating younger, you start realizing like, hey, first of all, they're interested in you, even though you're older. And second, they're more compliant and willing to get on your program because you offer the security that they've been looking for that they cannot find in their own peer group. They're looking for someone who's more mature and established so they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to, it's not required for them to go to college when it's easier to become somebody's wife. When you're somebody's wife, you can, you've won the game. You're no longer looking for a date. You're no longer looking for your Mr. Right. You no longer have to worry about money. You no longer have to worry about security. You don't have to worry about a lot of things when you marry the right person if you're a 20-something-year-old girl.
Well, let me add this, Mike, before you go.
Go ahead.
An older guy who's in his 35, somewhat established, if you're a younger woman, 25, let's say 26, he has more room for you to grow in the things you want to do because you don't have to struggle at all. He can plug you in if you want to get another degree, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you got some plans. As long as they fit in his overall program, you got options to do that. There's no struggle up there. If you have a kid, he's more I had my kids. My first girl was born, I was 34 years old. She didn't have to grow up with me. I was already established when I had my first kid, I just had to plug her right in. My youngest daughter, I was 41 with my youngest daughter. So just plug her in. She didn't have to worry about any other kind of stuff where you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay the mortgage or the rent, or I got to get a new job, none of that. So that makes a difference too. Some women can pick up on it, you know, if you're a little older. So I mean, let's just leave it there.
Nice.
Even to say that, just real quick, like 2 seconds. Even with that, when you say that older men make more room for women, women do not make room for men, not older women. Their life is filled with stuff, things that they acquired, and the ego and the narcissism. There is no room for somebody else. I'm going to let somebody else handle it. I'm going to make room for somebody else. No, what they're thinking is you get in where you squeeze and fit and sit in the corner until I need you. If I need you, you're not a necessity. You're an option, and options come in a plenty, right? But when you're a necessity, you're irreplaceable. For a 20-year-old, a mature man who's got his stuff together is irreplaceable. Where am I going to find another one of these that want me? When you're 40 something, it's like, well, I don't need a man. I've been doing this all by myself. Why do I need one now? So therein lies the difference.
It's a big difference, man. So what I've noticed is that a lot of people are trying to break down this whole a man's value over time. Oh, all men are. I'm trying to tell you, if you just do simple math, you'll understand what it is about. A man's value increases in a multitude of ways. It's interesting to me that when we talk to our women, they only think they only are considering monetary value. That is not a man's value. Like, geez, it's how we have socially constructed a man's value. But what happens is, the worst part about it is, a lot of older women, just like Ebony K Williams seems to be doing right now, starts to begin to understand a man's actual value. Oh my goodness, all of this stuff might be happening to me because I don't go out with a sensible man, right? I don't even feel safe in these streets without a sensible man to come home to. I'm in the bed a night alone. I'm done talking to my girls, right? I even think that women are smart enough to know that they're just being placated by their girlfriends. How many times a night, or how many times a day, you going to talk to your girlfriends before you're going to want to talk to somebody that's romantically interested in you? Somebody with a different perspective, with a logical perspective. Y'all can't talk to your girls on the phone forever. Don't cap, right? I know my wife appreciates the discussions we have. You can see her just like looking off into space, and she had not heard anything like that all day because she was talking to her mom. She was talking to her best friend all day, and she's like, damn, that's a different perspective. We know you want that. That's the actual value of men. And one of the worst things I can think of is that you're 40 just now realizing it, but the 25-year-old got perkier titty. She's more energetic. She down for whatever at any time. And that is where that is where a man's value increases. Now he can be pulled one way. He can be pulled the other way. He has options he's not even looking for. That's the crazy part about it. I'm not even capping to y'all. Me and my wife had to talk about this evening. I said to her, is the chiropractor hitting on me? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, this lady's texting me. And she asked me about you the other day. So, like, what does your wife do? It's this heavier set black woman. And she kind of goofy. You know what I mean? And she's flirtatious, but I go to the joint chiropractic. And the girl at the front was like, I think she likes you. I'm like, this is kind of trifling. Obviously, you can see I'm married. I brought my son and my daughter in here multiple times. I was like, that's kind of out of line. But what I get it now. Women want things they can't have. They love extremely mature men that seem like they got something going for themselves, men that look responsible and look like they can facilitate a dream. Right? And she looks like she's about my age. She's single. She waited too long, and now sometimes taking somebody else's man might be an option. Isn't that sad? It's sick. They should have listened to us in the first place, and they might not have been in this predicament. But what do y'all got?
Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead, Payne.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, listen, when we say a woman hits the wall, it's also a period where they reflect, right? What happens when you bounce off a wall? You know, you reflect, you know, your biological and things that, you know, nature hits you. That's why I think there's a difference between a woman who hits a wall who never had a baby and a woman who's single with babies who hit the wall. I think the delusion goes a little bit longer with women who have kids because they met one biological imperative already. And if they made it to 40, now they're thinking about shit, man, what I'm gonna do with my old age. That's why they have son husbands and, you know, daughter wives and stuff like that. But a woman who's single and never had no kids, they know their biological clock is about to close. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to reflect on the choices you've made. And sometimes you have regrets, and a few don't. But we're starting to see in these spaces, those 40-year-old and up, they're being kind of honest. They're crying on the internet, and they, I mean, I don't have any contempt for like Ebony K Williams because I think I understand a woman like where she's at. She's a very good looking woman. And out of all the men out there, she can't even find a man that want to knock her up
Damn.
and marry her, right? I mean, you know, yeah, whether he's a bus driver or not, you know, nobody wants you. And that's why
That's the brick. That's the brick to the face. What you just said. She's 40, she's beautiful, and no one wants her.
That man, y'all are really saying something right now. Because what we get accused of in these spaces a lot is fear mongering. We don't have to sell you fear. That shit sells itself. I'm scared for you. We have been saying this stuff ad nauseum for months. This show has been going on since January, and we've been saying this. Y'all call it fear mongering. We call it interpreting the writings on the wall. I clearly see what's happening. Now you have, first off, Ebony K Williams is clearly beautiful. She's actually like, well, let me look at her.
She's hot.
Shoulders back a little bit. I was about to say she's kind of like my I actually like smart, capable women, accomplished women. I love those types, right? Got to see some other stuff aesthetically. Aside from that nasty ass attitude, I just mean her demeanor. She seems like she could be soft spoken if she wasn't in character all the time for work or whatever. But look at this lady. She's a real catch. If she turns that feminine, she's in an adjustable 6, maybe. If she turns that femininity on, and she's, you know, just light and airy. You know how a woman could just go to an 8 or 9 real quick, depending on her demeanor and her behavior. But a woman that looks like that, with these type of accolades, with this much to offer, and people are like, nah, I'm good. That's crazy. We've seen this writing on the wall for a while, and they accuse us of fear mongering. But I think this is testament that, I hate to say it, we were right. And for those of y'all that think that men in general, especially the gentlemen of this show, that we take pleasure in this, I wish we were wrong. I hope we were wrong. But I think we just knew better. I really did not want to be right about this. I wanted y'all to be right. Because for us to be right means that there are too many people that will go without husbands. There's too many children that will go without fathers. I hoped y'all were right. I hope we weren't right about this. Y'all understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, I do. You know, here's the thing, though, Mike. Go ahead, EBD, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, I mean, we are really saying something. I mean, there's no better teacher than reality, right? When you step out into the world, you can think whatever and believe whatever you want to as an adult. Reality is something that you can't debate or argue with. It'll show you the ugliness of what your decisions have brought you, whether it comes in the form of consequences, relationships, or loneliness, lack thereof, right? You've never felt, as a 40-year-old woman or as a woman, unconditional love by a man. Everyone around you may have at some point or another, but you haven't. To have to be able to look in the mirror and say, how come nobody wants me? 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, everybody may want to smash. That's one night, but one night doesn't equal forever, right? to actually look back at your life and say, well, I must have done something wrong somewhere because I have all this, but it doesn't. All of your accomplishments that she thinks she's made, she doesn't have a man. That is a monumental failure. It just is, and I think that's what she's coming to terms with. The man is supposed to be my standing trophy. He's proud of me. I'm proud of him. We're in this life forever. She's just coming to terms with, I'm alone and I might be alone forever because men my age do not want me. They're not checking for me. They're checking for these younger chicks. Their dating pool is far wider. Mine is far narrower. My standards were way too high. Everyone that was talking this smack about, women getting older and risking being alone forever, they were right. I was wrong. I got to admit.
That's why you're wrong, baby. She thinks
Where
she's
you
bad.
at?
She still thinks she's a bad bitch.
I'm pretty sure to some extent she does, but like I said, you can believe what you want to as an older woman, but reality is something else. No one beats reality.
If you pull up and talk about you look average, that bitch about to call you everything but your name. What?
That's fine, but I can live with that in my castle because I'll be fine with my 21-year-old girlfriend, 22-year-old girlfriend. Hey,
out there, man, they gonna kill it.
Yeah.
But so on that point though, when she first came up with the bus driver thing, I just think in general, listen, Ebony K Williams is maybe what, 5% woman in terms of she got money, she got status, but her hypergamy went with her. And one of the things women like her don't understand, there's no big pool of any men up at that level. Right. And here's another thing, whether you're black, white, or anything. And just like men have learned when you're in a 1% bracket or 5% bracket, there ain't a whole lot of dates up there at that level.
Okay.
So you know how to adjust. You just finished this. So you know how to adjust. And one thing, especially if you want to get married, men who have means understand the importance and the honor of asking you to be their wife. They don't just throw that shit around. When you ask, that's another thing I'm working on. When a man asks a woman to marry him, he's telling her, listen, I'm willing to give you my 4 P's for a lifetime. For a lifetime. This shit is an honor. I don't care whether you say yes or no. You know how many women go through life and nobody ever asks them to be their wife?
He gonna tell her, you my main bitch, and I'm gonna have other bitches. That's what he said. When you marry you, reap the benefits of what the others ain't. I'm gonna let you know every now and then I'm gonna have a side piece here and there. So I need you to hold on, baby, because you're getting the benefits from my greatness.
All right, what you got,
Let's see. So like I was telling our parent, right? These women don't understand what greatness is, right? Like a man like, let's say Trigger Mike, right? Or even our parent, right? Who's established, got the family in sync, right? Everything is moving in proper course and cohesiveness, right? But women they think that, and I'm not speaking to y'all, I'm just saying men in general, these modern women, they think that that's not good enough because they feel that they're more capable. And this is where it becomes a problem, right? This is where we're at right now, right? We got the Queen Maker on here hitting this rhetoric and all these women falling behind her, you know what I'm saying? So, general, if you're married, thank God, stay blessed, don't leave her, right? Because these women out here, they're playing for keeps. And they will not, I'm summing it like this. They want the money, but they don't want the man. They want they want the wedding, but they don't want the marriage. See what I'm saying? Because ultimately, it leads all back to them, right? Selfishness and self-preservation. And once they figure out that, I'll marry him, but there's a but there, right? If he don't meet the standards in where I feel like it's good for me and make my happiness fulfilled, she's going to burn the house down. So all this, what we got going here, these women on here are now saying, men, you're the leaders. When we fail, you're going to take the blame. But when we succeed, it ain't because of y'all. So therefore, I mean, EBD, to your point, right? If you're going to get married to a woman, and to our pain point, when we rarely ask women to marry us, it is an honorable thing. It is a very honorable thing because we're sacrificing a lot of lustful, tangible things, right? And we're saying, okay, I'm going to try to make this work. And when the women are now turning that down because they say that's not good enough, then we're just going to be a bunch of single moms out here, single dads, and we got to work with what you got to work with.
Yep. All right. So let me get the super chat. My man, Big Ant. Mike, you voice typing or typing fast as hell. That I said that most females don't know it's not just what you say, but how you say it as well. Hook Ebony up with EBD. My bad. I forgot he's still dating Sukiana.
Is she 21 or 22 or what?
Nah, I don't know what she is. That shit better not be true. I'm start looking at you different. Man, I'm gonna look at the camera
if that were true. She'd be like, "Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, I'm on TV, bitches." Nah, I ain't dating Sukiana.
I wouldn't let Sukiana change my bedpan.
All right, man.
I wouldn't let her change my bedpan. I meant Big Ant again. I think that most. Yeah, we got you, bro. No doubt. Appreciate the super chats. Thank y'all for so much love in the super chats. Keep it coming. We got 158 people watching. Get those likes up right now. We are talking about Ebony K Williams saying, pick up that Mrs. Ring too. Now, let me just bring this one out early. I don't have the audio. I think JR closed his computer and he had it up, so I'll try to get it back up. This lady, in fact, let me not do that one first. Let me not get ahead of myself. This is the one I want to talk about, and this one's a little sensitive, so I want some ladies to come up if you can. I see Wife School. If you are able, you don't need to come up, but you come up. I want to talk about this stuff and to see if any ladies have experienced this or if you understand that it's true or you might have went through this situation. But I also want us men to take care on how we speak on this because it is a sensitive topic, and we're going to talk about fertility because she brought it up in that video, and I want to know by asking y'all, do men consider the dwindling fertility as a knock against women 35 years or older? 35-year-old women plus. Do we consider it at all? And I'm gonna start so I can give y'all. I think now that women are starting to realize that these are not just YouTube talking points, they're starting to take us seriously because most of the things that we say translate into real life. If a woman begins to understand that sexual attention is not relationship attention, and that what a man actually wants from you is very evident once things start happening in the relationship, they have to take what we say and apply it to real life at some point. I said something maybe a week ago, if y'all remember. You know you are not living right as a man if that chick you dicking down tells you that she's pregnant, and immediately you know you don't want no parts of it. You don't want a relationship. You don't want, if you have a pregnancy scare with a woman and the first thing you think is, wow, I don't want this. You're not living. You should know, right? You should know all of these things. So I think women don't understand that it is natural. Us wanting fertile women is natural, meaning we cannot help it. We always get knocked for our nature. We get demonized and shamed for our nature. But and for all the ladies in the chat, we are not talking about any woman that can't have kids or has complications with it. That's not most women. Most women, as you can see, clearly can have kids. We're not talking about those. All right. So don't want to disrespect anybody. But yes, we consider it. And I think that most men that are marriage eligible, that are considering getting married, that are 35 years old or older, will start to think maybe I should go down to 27, 28, 29 to look for the mother of my children. It's a natural thought. What do y'all think?
Used to be that way. Used to be that way. Now it's changing. It's changing a lot because women mindset is changing, right? So, back in the day, our times, you just know that younger women was the more impressionable, right, and more easy.
Hold up, real quick, Ruthless. I forgot SB's super chat. No disrespect to SB. Y'all know we love security boss around here. Let me read her super chat. $5. Ebony Williams is a true chameleon. She did change around on this one. We're gonna see though if she sticks to this rhetoric. All right, my bad, Ruthless. Go ahead.
Okay, it's okay. It's just us, man. Everything falls back. I think it all falls on us, right? On how we got to carry ourselves. Because women are going to be the women. They got too much power. They got too much leeway, but all this power leeway given to them by men, right? Men are doing all these things for them and drooling over them and lusting over them uncontrollably, right? And women see this and they're using it to their advantage, right? And now they're playing chess with it. So unless we start playing chess as a whole, then I don't care what age you go to, you get drugged to the mud if you dare fall in love with one of these women.
I think it's different. I say men play chess because checkers is about it's a very short game, while chess is a very long game. It's long and thought out, and you have to know and anticipate somebody else's move before you consider moving which piece and when and why, right? Because you're trying to checkmate kings. So it's pretty much one of the oldest forms of war, studying war, battle situations, landscape, all that. Women are not strategic that way. Their only interest is self-interest rather than the long game of this is my husband till the day I die. They already know they're coming in. A lot of women come into marriages in bad faith, meaning one day I'm going to divorce him. I just need to tolerate this and get my security and get whatever I need to get out of him until he can't provide resources or if I just feel like I'm unhappy, then I can just hit the door. Men don't think that way. Men, when they propose marriage, they're asking for your hand in marriage for the rest of their life until the day that they die. Women aren't. Women don't think that way. They think about garnering resources and security until they either change their mind, find someone better. They don't love the man anymore, or they don't like the way the man talks to them, or if the man falls on hard times and they feel like they can do better, they can just divorce him, leave him, take the children, extract more resources, and then just go ahead and find another man. It is not until we have a younger generation of women that looks at the behavior of the older generation of women and make a decision to say, I want this or I want that. This works for me. This doesn't. How am I going to move? Because they're not going to want to be 40, looking back, trying to get pregnant, not married, but have all this stuff that doesn't mean anything when you're on your deathbed, right? They're not going to want no 20-year-old. I guarantee you, no teenager or 20-year-old is looking at these 40-year-old plus women thinking, I want to be her, lonely, scared, no children, no one that loves her, unmarried, but being used and abused and this and that, crying alone on the internet or at night with no one to talk to except for the sisterhood. That's not an entertaining lifestyle that most young people aspire to be.
Well, let me just add this. There's an answer in the question, right? I think the 35-year number comes from geriatric pregnancy. But, there's plenty of women who get pregnant in their 30s all the way up to 40, 42, 43 without problems with the modern medicine if you have the right kind of medical people around you. Mm-hmm. But, that's not necessarily the issue. I mean, if you can, you'll go younger. But I wouldn't exclude women in their 30s because people are getting married a little later anyway. But just to stick to the point, men, there's people out here demonizing our natural instincts since the beginning of man. And I look at it because men naturally crave sexual liaisons with women. It doesn't matter whether you're a saint or a sinner. It doesn't matter whether you want to get married or you want to just smash. We do. Now, the thing that makes us control that is our level of discernment on what we have to lose as opposed to whether we just want to go and fool around and lose all our rights by getting a woman we don't want pregnant, right? Because as soon as she's pregnant, you have no rights whatsoever. So that's what you have to control. And it's only a certain amount of level of men who actually gain that discernment, and it really comes with age, right? Because between 18 and 30, the guys who are getting sex, sometimes you're a little reckless. So when you're looking at, based on your question here, yeah, we consider fertility, but a lot of men don't care about that until they get old enough to understand what that means. But when you're in your 20s, you ain't thinking about that. When you're in your 30s, you know, a little bit more maybe. And if you're 35 years old as a man and you don't have a wife and no kids, yeah, you're going to look a little younger. But if you found one closer to your age and she fits your criteria through the courting process, you're not going to really get hung up on the numbers. I don't think so. She's got to meet the criteria, whether she's 25 or 35, right? You need to have a vetting standard for your woman, no matter what her age is, and based on what you want out of her. If you want a lot of kids, then the younger is better. You know, so that's the kind of thing. So, you know, you just got to fit into whatever your program is. You know, this way I'm looking at, you know, women as a diaspora, and I'm not trying to pass any judgments on where they are from, you know, from what I want to do. Do you fit into my program? Yes or no? You know, and the younger the better. But if you're 30 and 32 and you can still have children and you don't have any kids, you know, I'm still down. I'm still down. You know, if you're going to get on my program, you know, so.
That's the problem, though. They don't want the program. Is their program or nothing. That's how these women play.
I don't agree with that.
Listen.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, right? What I'm saying is the women are playing a different game now. It's no longer, I want to get on his program. If she wants a man and she want to find a man to do all these things with, y'all going to equally get on each other's program, right? Because they have their own money and their own stability now. You are now just a piece of the puzzle to them, as well as, see, back in the day, women didn't have the resources. So, of course, they would get on a man's program because survival fit, right? Survival of the fittest. Now that these women have all access, unlimited access to the pretty much all the money in this fucking world, and they're getting some of it, they're saying to the men, okay, we still want you, but, right, you got to be on our program, because check it out. And I'm going to give you like this. I'm going to give you an example like this, Arpe. Let's say you meet a girl, right? Let's say you meet a woman, right? You guys are jealous. Y'all hitting all four cylinders, right?
Yeah.
She's looking for you not to be talking to a woman even before y'all commit. If she sees that you have a large social network of women, she is cutting your ass off immediately. She's not saying, these women are planning like this. They want your dedication without their commitment before they commit.
No, you missing my point though. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not dealing in absolutes. This is my problem, I think, with the modern guys, right? I'm not even supposed to talk about this since I've been married and I'm old. I don't believe women are new. I just believe they take advantage of what's available. And I think their natures are still the same. They're just unleashed. And I think most men, if you understand the basic nature of women, I don't give a shit what day it is. Underneath all of that shit, they're still women. You know, back when I was younger, women only, there were still 304s back then, by the way. You were able to distinguish them from women who had virtue because there were more cultural governors back then. Social mores, stigmas, and all that. When that got stripped away, as soon as the birth control pill came out and women could have sex indiscriminately, then they started to blow up. You had feminism on the top of that. But the basic nature of women is still the same, just like the basic nature of men is. They're just more promiscuous now. They do want the shit that you're talking about, Rufus, but that still doesn't supersede me having my own standards.
Well,
so if I find a woman, wait a minute, you said something. Let me just say this. If I'm looking for a woman and she starts throwing all this bullshit in my face, you're gonna be my partner and all that. I'm excluding her.
Okay,
She don't
okay,
have
right
to
there,
exclude me. I'm not listening to that shit. Come on.
Hold it right there. Put it right there, Arpain. And this is where the difference is, right? You're right. But here's the thing. It's not easy to find someone you're connected with like that. Listen, it's just not. That's the problem. You find
see?
Hold on, Arpain. You've been looking on the rocks. You've been looking under the mountain. You've been looking everywhere. All these women got all this game, all this drama. You finally find one. You finally find one that, yeah, she ain't perfect, but you guys at least meet somewhere more than the rest, right? And just to throw that all away, right? To start over again is a lot for a man who's trying to build his legacy and trying to get settled in and trying to have something that's fortified. We ain't got all that fucking time, Arpain.
Yeah,
like
men, men have more time than women do.
Why you think y'all got married? You know why y'all got married?
Well, Rufus, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all got married. You know why y'all got married? Because y'all knew once y'all found that one, okay, bam, this is what it is.
I agree.
This is what it is.
Let me say this.
I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna let you cook.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
You knew what was on the other side, Arpain. You knew that if you didn't lock this in and make this right with this chick here, it could be a long motherfucking day life for you.
But Rufus, let me tell you this. The only you said it yourself. The only difference between now and back when I found my lady, I didn't have to go through as many women as you have to now. I don't agree. Wait a minute, let me finish. I don't agree with the narrative that there ain't no good women out there. I don't agree with I just don't agree with that.
I don't think you don't agree. Listen, some people get lucky, Arpain. Some people get
married. More numbers. I agree with that. I'm blessed.
You know what I think? You know what I think? That like during this is a generational thing too. As you both are talking, this is a generational thing that I notice. Back in your day, Arpain and Ruthless, you guys are probably both older than I am. So back in your day, hoes were in hiding. You weren't. They weren't. They were there. But you didn't know who they were. They kept it on the they kept it on the down low. Hang on. They kept it on the down low, right? They dressed a certain way, this and that. The only thing you can tell back in the early like 60s and 70s were like the streetwalkers, right? They dressed a certain way. They had the uniform. They're loud. I think nowadays they're all kind of loud and proud about it. And it's the good women who are now in hiding. You can't really find them anywhere. They're not, you can't tell one from another.
EBD, let me tell you this. That's what it kind
of seems like. Go ahead.
Everybody know who the hoe was in school, high school, elementary. The word get around fast. We knew who it was. The difference is, let me tell you the difference between now, EBD, now it's celebrated. Now it's okay to the hoe more so, where they can just be on OnlyFans, whatever. But the hoes always was the hoes, and they really put themselves out there. Niggas like, damn, go over her house, you gonna get some. Everybody knew.
But that was a rumor, right? That was a rumor you heard in school, wasn't it?
You knew who the hoes was back in my day.
No, back in your day, the girl who was a hoe, it was rumored that she was a hoe. You didn't really know from personal experience, right?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
Listen, she be at the parties on this dick. She all at the basketball game, hugging them, grabbing niggas' ass. Come on. Everybody know. Okay, we knew.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
Because she want to be known. Now, the difference is now that women who aren't maybe that way, right, they look the same. That's the difference. They dress the same. They got the long eyelashes.
Yeah.
They got the now they look like them, even though they're not like
uniform.
Them,
they got the uniform.
They got the well, back in the day, the women who were conservative and not, they were dressed different.
So Rufus, you got to do more work, man. So what? You got to do more work. You just got to do more work. That's all. You got to do more work.
Now, women may want you to not talk to any other woman, but that's just an ego type of deal. But if you are, I heard True Table just say it. If you're that dude, they're gonna expect you to have another woman. I think that's part of pre-selection. If other women want you, if they see that other women want you or will approach you or that you've been with other women, they're gonna want you too. They're gonna know that there's something about you that's desirable to them.
Here's the thing,
what's up, Mike? What's going on, man?
You're absolutely right, but here's the part that you're missing. A lot of women move to destroy those men. See, they want to break that man down. That's why they desire them, because they didn't want them to want that pussy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like modern, I think modern women think that way.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Beyonce, Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z was there on campus, right? Then he was there doing his thing, and after he got with Beyonce, but guess what she kept doing? She kept breaking up with him. She kept threatening him. She kept crying about it. And she ultimately, she came out with Lemonade. Said, nigga, either you bow down or I'm leaving. Have Jay-Z thought about it? Like, I'm cool right here. He's not doing what he did before because Beyonce broke him, nigga. She broke him because guess what? Because guess what?
He cheated. He cheated. Wait a minute. He cheated, and she stayed. How is he broken?
Listen, no, you're not listening. Listen, just because you cheat 2, 3, 4 times. See, a lot of these women, they got the long game, right? They're like, okay, I know this nigga's a player. But I'm gonna make that dick my dick. But it's gonna take some work, and they in for the long game. Okay.
Oh,
baby up in. Hey, they gonna let you put that baby up in them, the baby number 2, right? They gonna say they're gonna be complaining. Oh, don't be going out with them. They know you flat, but then right when they get you where they want you, when they know they got you by the balls, right? Okay, now this nigga leave me right now. I get half. I get everything. What? I'm gonna be even richer. And then she make that known to him. He says, "Oh shit." Now some do not. Oh,
one day when that. Okay, so what do you? Here's a question.
He's no longer the man he used to be.
Here's a question though. Here's a question. You wake up, and the laws have changed. And when the woman leaves, she gets nothing. Then what?
Oh, game changes. Then we go all the way up. Then all the way up. Nothing can stop us. All the way. Cause now, bitch. Oh, you want to live? Oh, okay.
Because I think that's the next evolution in trying to secure marriage, right? I think in order to secure marriage for the long term, whenever we have a divorce and the woman decides to leave, she gets absolutely nothing. No prizes, no entitlements, no nothing. I want to know I want to know what happens the next day after that law is passed. How many people are jumping to get married?
That's a worthless conversation because that's just not going to happen like that.
No. So it doesn't even need to be that dramatic. I think what's going to happen is women are going to get exactly what they're asking for, which is equality. So, you know, what they're looking for now, what they're looking at is the weaponization, right? So now it's actually not becoming profitable for the country as a whole, right? So, you know, it's profitable when we say, oh, the government profits. The government doesn't profit necessarily. The private sector profits. The people who, you know, the judges fund profits. So, you know, we look at that as big government. Big government profits from taxes. And they're like, oh, shit, men pay most of the taxes. So, you know what I mean? At some point, you can only disturb the order of things as far as men are concerned for so long. Because now, hold on. The one thing I know the country is worried about is the expatriation rate. More men have moved to Mexico City in the last, 3 years than the previous 50. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because they're like, I'm done with this shit here. I'm not subjecting myself to this law. Y'all have gone too fucking far. This liberalism is out of control. I'm out. Men are setting up shop in Panama, Portugal, Bali. Like, dudes are working from anywhere now just to get out of this bullshit. But let me. I'm
thinking about leaving too.
Hey, you know what? My wife's mom's side is from Panama, and they like, come on down. And I'm like, listen, I got a smooth settlement coming my way in a few weeks, and I might think about putting them down on a little house out there. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all might see me out there. Darling, or Danzakudu, you know, fuck that.
Check him out. You 6'2" now. Don't forget.
Nah, I'm not 6'2". Y'all stay changing my height. Somebody told me I was 6'3". I'm 6 feet tall. Like, don't be lying out here. For somebody see me out here, like, this nigga ain't no 6'2".
I ain't advise him to try you. I ain't got that working out well for him.
Let me get this. Bro. So I had to, unfortunately, her cousin was killed by the cartel just a few months ago, but this was in Guatemala. So that got me kind of, I was like, hey, but they do have gun laws there. You can't own a firearm in Panama. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why the cartel isn't as stronghold. because in countries like Mexico, I don't even want to go. I went about 2 years ago to Puerto Vallarta. You can't even have a knife. You can't bring a knife into their country. The cartel not about to be armed, and I'm sitting here naked. Hell no. So yeah, I'd rather go to Panama. But let me read the super chat. Then we're gonna get Anissa's point of view. Big Ant, $10 to all the men on the panel. Would you still pay full price for a Rolls Royce, but after you look at it, it's missing a motor and scratched up and missing seats? Now translate that to some modern females. Damn. How many of y'all still buying the Rolls Royce?
I'm not buying that motherfucker no more. That's why I try
That
to.
shit is an old. No, that shit is an Oldsmobile now.
But what I would tell you is that it's unaffordable and not worth having.
That shit, it's an Oldsmobile. Call it what it is. All right. Y'all heard they got a Toyota coming out, Toyota Rolls Royce? Have y'all seen it? Toyota is coming out with a Rolls Royce Cullinan competitor. The joint look nice, though. It look nice. Y'all check it out. All right. Anissa, what's going on? Good evening to you.
Yeah.
Good evening. I've been listening to you gentlemen chat it up on this subject. So I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna mute him.
Okay. I think Ebony Williams is, she's in a interesting position. She's probably realized, and she's probably talked to some friends. She may have even talked to Tyler Perry by now, and they have probably told her the difficulty that she's going to have, and that she probably should have, along with getting that law degree, got the MRS degree. I think where we have experienced a disservice, Black women especially, I don't think we were taught or raised to pursue the MRS. I think we were just taught to pursue the degree, whatever that was. We were not taught to get the MRS degree. It did not happen for the majority of us, as it does happen in other races. So we come out kind of at a disadvantage when you come out from college. You had the degree, you probably dated certain type of guys, but when you come out of school, you're starting in the big open pool, where in college you were probably around your best group of people, like-minded, striving for the same things, your best opportunity to probably find your mate. And then once you graduate, everyone's moving around and scattering about, and then it becomes more difficult. Most of my friends that we all went to college together, we're still close friends, and they met their guys in college, dated them all through college, and today they've been married 30-something years to the guy that they met in college, and they stayed with them and they built something. If you don't have that when you come out, and you don't get it shortly after, it can become very difficult. I think with Ebony being an attorney, I didn't agree with everything that Kevin Samuel said, but some things I did agree with him with. Being an attorney, of course, none of us know her personally, but you just think about the nature of an attorney. They have to be aggressive. You have to be a go-getter. You have to be argumentative. You have to defend your position. You have to fight. That's just the nature of an attorney. If you are a female attorney, you could probably imagine that those same qualities apply to her, and just think about having to deal with that in a relationship. And even though she's surrounded by men that are probably on her level, I think she dated an attorney or some whoever the white guy was that she dated. I don't know if he was an attorney or not. She's probably comes in contact with the kind of men she really wants, but probably because of her nature that she's probably been trained to do, it might be repulsive to those type of men, because even though they're attorneys, they probably don't even want to be married to an attorney, because they don't want to
probably
right.
To not be an argumentative one.
Exactly. So she's in a difficult situation, and I think she's probably talked to some people, and they probably were like, "Girl, You should have done this, a long, long time ago. And, it's just going to take the special type of guy. I think, if you're a guy and you're 35, 40, 45, 50 or whatever, you don't have kids, absolutely you're going to be interested in that younger woman. It just kind of makes sense. But when I think about me personally, the guys that I know that are, 45, 50, 55, most of them already have some kids. And I don't know any of them that are saying like, yeah, I want to start all over from scratch, get me a young girl and start, because they're doing what they want to do in their life. They built their lives, they've got money, they can do what they want to do. And they're just not interested in going all the way back and changing diapers and all of that. Those are for the men that have kids. So she might have to, play around, with that group a little more. But if a man doesn't have kids, the younger woman is definitely going to be more appealing in that aspect.
Got you. So thank you for clarifying that. I mean, that to me it goes without saying that it's going to be more difficult. She made some very, not even questionable, they were just wrong statements on stats about college and stuff, but we're going to get into that. But I have to soak up this time while I have you, especially while a woman is on the panel. And I think you kind of alluded to it. I just wanted to bring the question out. You can answer it in True Table, then his ghetto point of view. Do Black women understand that you can actually pursue a degree and a wedding ring at the same time?
Peace to the chat, and I think that's I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't think it's a focus. I don't think our parents sent us to school with that mindset. I think we know it's possible, but it's definitely not the focus when you're in college. It's just, not. You're there getting your education and you're trying to have a good time. I think when I went to school, I was 17 or 18. I wasn't thinking about becoming a wife. And, I mean, just being honest, I was not thinking at 17 or 18, like, oh, while I'm here, I need to be looking for my husband so I just was not in that frame of mind at 18 years old. So I think you might be thinking, you want to get married and you want all of that, but are you thinking about it at 18? You're thinking about having a good time while you're there, doing what you need to do, and then you worry about it, when you get out of school. And, sometimes that can put you behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Yeah. True Table, my man. What's going on? Good evening.
Yo, what's going on, family? How you guys doing?
All right, chilling.
No doubt. What made me come up is what was going on between Ruthless Truth and Our Pain, how they were trying to discuss the married in the market. I wanted to add that I agree with both of you gentlemen. I think that Our Pain may struggle a little bit to understand that women's nature haven't changed, but the market has. And what I will say, one of the biggest things, people say social media, that's one component. I think one of the biggest parts is that you have where at one time relationships were the goal. So women understood what they got, right? What happens now is that there's guys in relationships. There's tons of women and men who are in relationships, but those relationships are not producing the highlight reel of what dating is. And women hate to be in something that they feel like a girl who's single is getting more than what I'm getting in a relationship. And a lot of guys, I don't think, nurture their relationships correctly. They're not dating their woman. They're with the woman, but they haven't created a relationship where it still feels like they're dating. They're not doing things to stimulate her in a way that you do when you're dating, the pursuit. Women talk about it. Oh, he used to do this, he used to do that. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And now that we have social media, the promotion of it is faster. So she's sitting there like, why would I be in a relationship when I can just date and be doing all kinds of new things on a regular basis? So that's one thing. And then to your question, Mike, do Black women think they can pursue a degree and marriage at the same time? I think that sometimes our community doesn't do a good job of desensitizing the romantic side of a relationship and having you understand that getting married is more about structure and expansion than how you feel. I think with Black women, when you talk to them about relationships, generally speaking, they think it's a novel. They romanticize it like they're supposed to get this spike of emotion, and he's supposed to scoop me up and do all this crap. They live through the movies a lot of times. Whereas when you talk to women from other communities, they don't so romanticize relationships. They look at a man as a function, a tool. That man is a gateway to expansion. So I think a lot of times you hear, oh, we're going to have fun. The fact that fun is advertised outside of a relationship is even concerning. Why is it phrased that way? But I digress. My mic is muted.
All right, his ghetto point of view. What you got, bro?
Peace. What's going on, everybody? Everybody can hear me good? How you doing tonight?
Yep.
Yeah, you good.
Well, peace, Killer Mike. Trigger Mike. I'm sorry, Killer Mike. But you are Killer low key. But on a side note, on that killing stuff, I do got to talk to you, brother. But that's a whole nother conversation.
We're gonna rephrase that whole thing that you just. Goodness God, the feds are watching that dude.
I'm so sorry. In a matter of self-defense killing.
There we go.
Self-defense killing. I do apologize. My brother has a legitimate business. For those that don't know, on the side, let's support Black legitimate business. Anyway, so to jump into the reason I jumped up was something Ruthless Truth has said that I had thrown in the chat, but I also wanted to ask collectively to the panel, and then I wanted to also ask True Table something. It seems like there's this collective thing where I've heard a lot of sisters say this, and now I'm starting to hear some brothers say it, where the reason our grandmothers stayed was because they didn't have options. Why do we let people get away with that lie of history when so many of our grandmothers was actually wealthy, had land, had money, had resources, had finances? More of our grandmothers had money than our grandfathers. I don't know why we keep lying about that. Most of our grandmothers was the ones that was handed down land from their daddies and their mamas and their aunties, not the men. Why do we keep lying about history like that and making it seem like only reason our grandmothers stayed was because they didn't have no choice, when in reality, they was the ones with the houses and our grandfathers was being humbly allowed to build a family with them.
Hey, bars, and I'm going to just stand here and tell you, I don't let them get away with it. Whenever they do that shit, I don't let them get away with it. Because here's the way I look at it, just even from my household on down. Women are smart, especially women who do the right thing. When you follow the established order, you're the one that ultimately benefits. Do you not realize that everything is left to the honorable woman?
Come on.
Who dies first in relationships?
Men.
Men do. Everything we have is left to the honorable woman. Not the one that's fucking up, not the one that's cutting up, not the one that disobeyed. Everything gets left to the woman that follows instructions.
And Trigger Mike, so many fathers did that too because they couldn't trust their sons.
Yep.
So many fathers can't trust their sons, and they be having a contentious relationship with their son and be like, yo, I don't know what he's gonna do with this estate. Let me leave it to my baby girl because she's always understood my perspective. So many men thought like that even back in the 1800s and left their whole estate to their women.
And the ones that could not decide, just by default, it went to their wife. Right. So that is 100% fact. I don't let the people get away with it when they say, oh, grandma didn't want to leave. Grandma wouldn't have gotten what she got if she'd have left. All right. Everybody knows if you are smart, you will reap the benefits. This is what I don't understand about this whole railing against marriage. Not one woman I know should be talking about getting the bag, but be against marriage. There is no bigger bag for you to get.
Come on.
There is no bigger bag for you to get than doing your thing in whatever your field is. Also having a man holding down the house. I have watched countless women build whatever the hell they're doing off their man's back. What do you even know what you can do by having a man that just pays the bills? My wife financed her whole business by herself. She was like, well, but I want to help around the house. And I was like, do I need you to? Every check you have, hire a new marketing person till the business comes to scale. You see what I'm saying? Anything. You can do anything off your man's back. What bill do you got to worry about in here? I pay everything. Just go ahead. Don't matter how much you get. Just put it into your business till it comes to scale. Right? That's how you get successful. So I don't even understand why a woman can talk about getting the bag, but you're against marriage. It's the most nonsensical thing I ever heard. Because even think about it like this. Women are so against going 50-50, but now have to pay 100% of their own bills. Does that make sense to anybody?
Not at all.
It doesn't even make sense, man. But y'all got the floor. Does anybody want to go in on this? So
What?
I wanted to say one more thing.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and True Table, brother. I know you mean well with what you're saying about how we need to continue to date our wives and continue to show them the love and affection. That's a fact. There's a lot of brothers who super slack once they get that ring on shorty finger. That's 100% fact. But brother, I think there's a slippery slope, because what about the men who a woman know he got to be on the road 6 months out the year? He a trucker. What about the men who woman knew when she got with him he works 20-hour shifts because he's the foreman at the yard? He's the head of a plant. She knew these things when she got with the man. It was completely fine with it. But now, a year in, he doesn't date. But you knew that this man had this insane work schedule and you were comfortable with it. So why would that woman then be allowed to use that as an excuse later on?
Well, I think that's a very small number.
That's not true at all, sir.
Well, I try to do my research before I talk. I know that most people are not in relationships with truck drivers or military service members who are away. It's not even 10%. But since that's the argument you're posing, So you saying brothers is working only 8 hours and then get to come home. They don't have travel time. They don't have overtime. Most brothers get to just work an 8-hour shift and that pays all their bills. They don't have a second job. None of that takes them away from their family and their wife. And their wife already knew that they were worth hustling and bustling 2-3 jobs, even if just in a local city when she got with him. You telling me that's not the case? No. What I'm saying is that, just so I can, keep my argument concise, I believe, and this has just been in my experience dating a lot of women, men drop the ball on understanding what women need while they're in a relationship. See, when you put a woman in a relationship, what a man gets out of that is a certain level of security. And most men won't tell you this, but I believe this to be true because I have my woman. So since I have her now, I don't have to chase. I don't have to worry about going out there and dealing with a multitude of women. I got one woman I need to master, feed, whatever, right? Where they drop the ball is they don't understand the appetite of a woman is very different. That you don't have to.
See, that's where I was going to argue with you, Truth Table. No, it's not. I still had to court my wife. I'm married, and I still caught my wife. So when you told me that I was wrong, I was going to let you speak, but I just agreed.
Let me finish.
I was saying, but because I agree with you that men drop the ball, but that was even back when I was young.
Well, if you let me finish, sir.
So I let you finish. But you said that I was saying that I misunderstood the modern woman because of the peer pressure they have for other women out there who are having freedom, and they with a guy who's dropping the ball and stops courting his girlfriend in a relationship. But you still got to do that when you're married.
But that's what I was alluding to. You just kind of cut me off.
Because you pointed that to me. I never misunderstood that part of it.
Okay. Well, my apologies in that regard. That's what I guess misunderstood. But
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off. But maybe I said it wrong. But no, I understand that full well.
Got it. Yeah, but to ghetto point of view, I think just in my opinion, if you are that man, you're working your 12 hours, you're working 8 hours, you get off. I've seen a lot of men get off their 8-hour job, get the household together, go pick their woman up, drive Uber. And while they're driving Uber, they're talking, how's your day? How's this going? While he's making money on his side hustle. I've also seen men that are away that send flowers once a week, that make sure that they are still making an imprint. And that's the part I mean. I get what you're saying, that he has to work. But I've seen a lot of guys make time to play video games in between some times of doing stuff, shop for shoes online. You still have to feed that woman if you want it to nurture and to grow. And what I'm saying is that the difference between what is that women in the back of the day understood that. Chris Rock talked about this. Your man would go to work 10 hours, 12 hours. He wouldn't know if a kid died until he got home later on that day. Well, we live in a different society now where you have access to your woman all day. So I'm just not giving men an excuse that if you got a cell phone, brother, you can send a text, go take a dump, tell her, hey, baby girl, miss those lips, whatever. Go ahead and simp on your freaking girl. Where you miss it is that's where dudes that are dating know how to do that because they continue to give girls that part. That's why dudes in relationship, in my opinion, are losing because they want to make it seem like you're supposed to understand that my sacrifice is enough to show you I love you. That's not how women receive love in most cases. They want that, but they want to be simped on too. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
Go ahead and keep sipping,
so
brother.
I'm gonna
Let me
have to
get
push
this.
back.
Let me.
I'm gonna have to push back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's BS, man.
All right. Let me
Yeah, I'm gonna have
get.
to push back. Oh yeah.
Let me get the super chat real quick. My man B Horde Chairman, $10. Appreciate the love. Elementary, my dear guys. The musical chairs are men. If they don't comply, please place them outside of the walls at sunset, and the barbarian hordes will emerge. All right. Thank y'all. If y'all just tuning into the Trigger Mike Show, we got a hot one tonight. They got some rebuttals. All right, Ruthless, go ahead, my guy.
So this is why I have to give pushback. We all grown-ups here, right? We commit to one each other, and you know how life is. You understand that there are going to be ups and downs, and everything ain't going to be exactly the way the book's printed. And True Table, you saying that we need to be working 10, 12 hours, then come back and acquiesce to her, make sure she's okay. You know what I mean? Like, she's a big girl. Now, true, there still have to be some type of, effort we got to put in. I'm not saying that we just totally ignore her and don't, show any love to her. But damn, there's going to be nights, maybe 2 nights, where I'm coming in, if I'm busting my ass trying to keep this house together, right? And she's there reaping from the benefits from this. And then she turns around and tell me, I'm not happy because you're not here. Listen, you knew what it was before we got this started. You knew it. So don't sit there and tell me now that because I've been consistent of what I've been doing. I told you my plan. I told you how I have to build, because there's a big picture here. There's a sacrifices that's got to be made for retirement, for things that, so I don't have to work all like this all my life. But if you can't seem to understand that, right, and you want me to put all my energy after all that every time, then that is.
I may not be dealing with a grown woman. I might be dealing with a little girl.
Right, that's what it's a disaster, because now her happiness is objective, right? Her happiness is objective.
I
Get a quick rebuttal in there, then we're gonna move on.
Yeah, I think that I'm not disagreeing with you guys wholeheartedly. What I'm trying to pinpoint is that there still, in my opinion, we're talking about current day, there is a different appetite for the women now. There's just a different appetite. Now, I'm not saying you acquiesce, but I'm a man just like y'all. We understand the sacrifice. We understand what we're doing. Women, it don't translate the same way.
We're not dropping the ball.
Hold on.
We're not dropping the ball. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you how, and this is personal experience. I used to be an executive chef. I used to work 12, 13, 14-hour days. One girl I was dating one time complained about time. So what I chose to do, I didn't have to, I chose to. I made her accessible to be able to come to my job during the slow periods, hang out with me. I also started planning 1 day a week, date night. That changed the trajectory of my relationship. But instead of saying, girl, you understand what I'm doing, this and this and that, no, that's not how women work.
You got married? You got married?
We didn't get married, but I'm giving.
So you did all that sacrificing and didn't even get the marriage.
Well, that
Wow. You could have changed the whole trajectory of your career acquiescing to that girl and didn't even get the marriage out of it.
But see, I didn't acquiesce. That's what I don't think you understand. What I did is
what would you call that by definition, brother?
Well, what I think a lot of dudes miss, and this is just my experience. I think that a lot of men in relationships get fatigued, and then you guys drop the ball, and then they run into a dude like me. And when we start dating, they easily recognize the differences. Like, wait, how is it that you're able to make consciousness? Remember my favorite this, so on and so forth. I was with.
Are you saying men that work hard can't remember those things, sir?
I'm saying even if they do, they don't seem to make.
He's saying step your game up. His ghetto point of view. That's what he's saying.
Nah, like I said at the beginning, True Table, I agree that men do drop the ball, brother, but there's a slippery slope because you're telling females that they don't have to respect hard work. Hold on. Let me finish, brother. Let me finish. This is my perspective on what you're saying, sir. You can then rebuttal me when you're done. Yes. Appreciate you. So we play a lot of games with words, guys. We talk about love when real love is agape. It's honor. It's duty. It's, I get up at 5 a.m. I work 15-hour days. I make sure you're fed. I make sure these kids is good. I make sure the gas is on, the lights is on, the electricity don't cut off. What are you talking about? That is love. That is dedication and honor to building something with you. You telling me that's not love? That's ridiculous. What are we doing? We're sitting here not only destroying our bodies and pushing ourselves to the limit, but now we have to play these psychological games to make sure grown females are now physically secured by our work and actions, are now also feel good and pampered? Where does this end? Tell me, brother, where this ends.
Let me jump in there, and I'll digress. You used agape, and I know where that word comes from. It comes from the word. And Christ said you need to love your wife like Christ loved the church. And also, if I know the God that I believe I know, if God just provided, and he demands that you spend time with him, he demands this throughout the word. So if I'm going to embody the mind of Christ, as you're saying agape, Christ himself requests time. Christ. So if you're going to try to play that game and say, I'm a man that follows my life to this degree, then you have to understand that with wisdom, if I have a woman, I have a wife, time that working and providing is that's the bare minimum, sir. I'm sorry. You have to do more.
Okay, hang on.
Can I respond as the only female up here?
Yeah.
All right, let the lady go.
Go ahead.
No, I'll wait for Inner Black Dragon. He was speaking.
It'll be 30 seconds. What I'll say is I hear the both of you. I hear what you're saying as far as maintaining. What I hear from True Table, everything that he said is that maintaining a healthy relationship takes work. What his ghetto point of view is saying, the work that the man is doing is a sign of love that women need to acquiesce and appreciate as like a love language, which is like acts of service or duty or things like that. So it takes a balance of both. A healthy relationship would understand, where both parties understand each other's role, and it's a compromise, right? One shouldn't be, somebody's going to lose out, and you both have to make the relationship work. You both have to decide that the relationship is more important than what you want out of it. So that I'll leave it there and then pass it to Anissa.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I get exactly what True Table is saying, and I think instead of I think some of the men probably just need to be open to what he's saying. Not to saying that you can't work, you shouldn't work, you should cut back on your hours or anything. But I think Inner Black Dragon pretty much said what I was going to say. It takes compromise on both parts. You can't be so like, I gotta work, and that you don't understand the emotional needs of your woman. Most definitely for men, more so than women. The fact that you're ghetto point of view, I'm providing, I'm feeding you, I'm this and I'm that or that. For you as a man, that is your service to say that I love you and I love my family. For women, it is totally different. We say, yeah, okay, yeah, you doing all that, but I want you here.
So then live in the shelter. Live on the streets. Live under a bridge.
I'm not finished.
And we'll go on a date.
I want you to plan a date.
Okay, I'll pick you up from under the bridge. I'll pick you up at the women's shelter.
Oh, please. So, and that's just understanding the needs of your woman. Now, every woman is different. There might be some women out there who can do that, and you can take them out once every 6 months, and they're happy with that. If that's your woman, then that's your woman.
Miss Anissa, can I just ask you this real quick?
You have to dwell with her according to knowledge. But I don't know too many women that would be totally happy and fulfilled in a relationship with some man that felt like, I'm going to work, and I'll get with you whenever I get with you. And I'm not going to make time with you. I'm not going to make you feel special. And I'm not going to continue to court you as my bride. And so True Table, I think that I totally understand. I think you hit it on the head for what women are looking for. We're not speaking from the man's point of view. He was speaking from the female's point of view.
Yeah, I'm not a female. I don't speak from the female's point of view. Miss Anissa,
that's why I was speaking to you.
I respect it. Miss Anissa, though, do you think that those things should be reserved for women who you haven't even like married, or do you think those should be reserved for women who actually have respected your grind and then deserve the flowers and the fruits of that labor and respecting you needing to build something?
I think if you choose to date someone or marry someone, if you don't want to put the effort into the relationship, whether it's dating or marriage, then why are you dating them? I mean, even if I was dating someone, I want them to make time for me. You know, I've dated doctors, I've dated pastors, and they're busy.
Did you marry them, man?
They put I'm not finished. I said I have dated those men who are very busy men and things require a lot of time with them. And I definitely understood that. But I also made it clear that, yeah, I know that you're working long hours. I know we may not be able to go out this weekend because you're on call, but next weekend I really like to do X, Y, and Z. You know, but you can't just ignore her needs because women like that. We like being with you. We want to be with you. We want to have dates with you. We want to go out with you. We don't want it to just be the grind, the grind, the grind. That is a sure way to lose your woman eventually.
And again, do you think those things should be awarded to women who have stood by a man as he was building something up, and now that he has the freedom, he can now shower her with his time and affection? Or do you think men should literally risk their careers in a trajectory path which they could take to acquiesce to women that they haven't even given a ring to?
No one says that you should ever risk
Come
your
on,
career.
I think you're being a little. Hold on.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Being a little unreasonable.
I'm not being unreasonable, sir. I don't think that you should be doing that for women who haven't respected your grind.
Let me ask you his ghetto point of view. Have you ever really been feeling a chick, like really feeling her? Like,
what do you mean? I'm married, brother.
You know what I mean, but you paused and were like, "Damn, I'm thinking about her right now." The one thing that I can say that is true that I think both men and women agree on is you make time for whatever you want. If there's something that you want, you will isolate. You will lose sleep. You see what I'm saying? You will do something to make sure you surround, you put that person, you put yourself in their atmosphere. I think, if
Trigger Mike, I can't put myself in my wife's atmosphere if I don't have a home for her to live in.
I think you're being a little too cerebral about it.
Wait. This is crazy.
But it sounds like, okay, hang on. It sounds like, but you're coming. The point of view that I think everyone is kind of listening to, that I'm hearing, is that you're dealing in absolution, and relationships and marriages are not absolute. They're
That's
always
not true at all.
Wait, hang on. Let me finish. There are dozens of marriages right now. CEOs, major heads of businesses, board of directors, hospitals, doctors, they're all married. They're all finding time to make it work. The job will know, hey, I'm taking this vacation. Me and my wife are going to Mexico. We're going wherever we're going. We're having the job does understand.
Until the Dragon, you're agreeing with me, brother, that those men put in the grind and now they are celebrating with their wives their success. That's all I've been saying this whole time.
Hold on. Let me, because this is actually very interesting.
That's all I've been saying.
The question at the bottom of the screen is, do Black women understand that you can actually pursue a degree and a wedding ring? So I have to ask the men, do you understand that you can work and provide while still being romantic with your woman? We can do both. I can't walk into them, bro. I can't.
Absolutely.
We make wait. Here's the thing. We make it work. We make it work.
That's why I say
when it's that girl, when it's that woman that you've been wanting to spend time with, and when you spend time with her, she makes you feel some kind of way. You always make it work. It's when you're off of work, before you go to work, during your lunch hour, you want to go and see her. When she's that woman. When she's that woman, married or not.
This is BS. You guys got to stop. You guys got to stop. Y'all giving these women false information, man.
One woman. You're saying women. I say one woman. Not every woman. One woman.
No, but you're on a live panel and y'all giving these women false information, and they're gonna take this and then demand from their husbands things that are unreasonable.
Ruthless, get in there. All right, Ruthless, go ahead, and then we got to move on. Go ahead.
Okay. The most highest rate of divorce last 3 years is during pandemic, when everybody had all that time to be with each other, right? They have to go to work. They said, "Damn, I hate you, mother."
Exactly. So, everybody was hanging around in the house together. Thank you. And they broke up.
They broke. The most divorce rate ever.
Thank you. What are we talking about? People had all the time in the world.
Women were in their houses together 24/7,
beating each other up, trying to kill each other.
And then you want to know why? You want to know why? Because it was.
I need time with him. Fine, you had 3 years with him, and then y'all didn't even make it out that 3 years. Cut it out, man.
Let me get this super chat, man. B Horde Chairman, $10. Poseidon couldn't control himself with Medusa, but God's original woman was naked in the garden with a silver-tongued serpent, and nothing happened. Listen, women, get Adam to do this. LOL. Appreciate the super chat, brother. All right,
The
if you just
women were
tuning in,
needing the train to the divorce line.
I mean, that's only one perspective. Some
I'm
like the
outta here,
Gnostic think that the
let's get the
serpent
next
had
question popping.
slept with
All right.
Eve. So
So
that's only one
if y'all
perspective.
did, yeah, let me get the next question popping. So if y'all watch that Ebony K Williams clip from today, one of the things women tend to do, and this is really weird, and I'm going to look up the stats right now as we debate this, but women talk about college as if black men don't go at all, which is weird. And what you're really alluding to is the influx of women's enrollment in school. All right. But if you notice the numbers of college educated women that complete college and college educated men that complete college, the difference is somewhere like 8 or 9%. If I'm going to look up the actual numbers, it's not as wide as women are making it seem, because a bunch of women start college, not all finish. So what my question right now is, because this seems to be the narrative that's out there, does a college education automatically make a woman too good for the average man? Y'all got
let me go on this one. First of all, like you said, the stats, she was talking about the wrong stats, right? It's only like a 5% difference between men and women, black men and black women. But in all demographics, every single one of them, the women go to college more than men. And here's the one statistic that nobody's talking about. Men forego college for vocations and trade school because they know it's not a good deal to go to college and get into that kind of debt. So that percentage of men is not in that calculation. So it's not like they're just sitting home and playing Nintendo and shit. Those guys are going to HVAC and electronics and all this other kind of stuff so they could work with their hands. And when the economy goes down, they ain't looking for a job.
They the only ones working.
How to make money. So she's not looking at that. And women typically don't factor that in, because that's why black women are in more debt coming out of college than black men, and probably women in all demographics. So if we're just keeping it to blacks, that's one thing. Now, if a woman says, I don't want to talk to a man unless he has a college education, you know what? I'm thinking you're kind of overrating college and shit in terms of whether a man has discernment or not. Because if a man is on his grind and he can make his own money on a vocation, he's probably a guy you could cling to, and in hard times, he can feed your ass. You know what I'm saying? And if he's just college educated with a BS, he's still looking for a job just like you are. Because he's in that economy. So, so you just gotta kind of make sure we kind of even out those statistics before we make these kind of judgments. And let me just say that. So I'll just land it there. We could just go around the horn.
Absolutely. SB.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, everything's
You want to get in on this?
Sure. What, on the question or
yes,
the whole situation?
Is, please, you can state anything you want to state, but the question currently on the floor is, does a college education automatically make a woman too good for the average man?
No, and I don't really understand why women don't understand that they can go to college and still be in a wife's role. The two can go together. You should not lose who God gave you. You should not lose the purpose of a wife that God gave you just because you got an education or a degree. The two can work well together. Very well. I don't understand the part. I don't understand why they missed that.
Let me add to that, because, when we talk about the God-given role, I'm going to start talking a little lighter, because I think Big Ant kind of pulled my card when he said, Sugar Mike, is not what you say, it's how you say it. And yes, to gain popularity, I've been somewhat of a dramatic, punch him in the throat type of person. But one thing that really hurts me is that I know, and this is the worst part, I look at especially Black American women, I look at all of you as African women, I do. And being from Africa, all of the women that we revere in this country, i.e. Latino women, Indian women, I know that African women, meaning Black women, y'all do it better than all of them. You do it better. And from an ancestral standpoint, the blood coursing through your veins, the maternal spirit, you do all of that better. All of those women come from your genome. Think about it, right? So that is one of the things that hurts me when I see women depart so much from their nature to pretend to adopt a more masculine nature, knowing that their true maternal spirit and everything that they can embody and represent in that is lost. Because let me tell you, especially with the women, I think I lost my train of thought real quick, but no. It doesn't matter. The one thing that I know is that these careers will never fulfill. They will never fulfill these women. No matter what age you are or how many degrees you get, how much money you get. Even Jordan Peterson has said, achievement is not, it does not hit that happiness. It's literally an instantaneous, temporary, fleeting feeling. And we try to gain happiness from achievement. That's not what that part of your brain is for. You're going to have to keep achieving new things in order to get that euphoric feeling over and over again, right? It is for women and men alike. It is having the family, having people to care for that really fulfills a woman. There's nobody here can biologically prove anything to the contrary, right? I always say men feel whole. You feel complete when you are providing something. When everybody is safe under a roof, under your care, eating food that you provided, you feel complete as a man. Women do not feel complete unless they are caring for something. You see it with the dog and the cat thing. Unless they have something to care and spread their love upon, they do not feel complete. I've watched
plants in the garden too.
Exactly. They do not feel complete. So why are they running from that so much? I'm confused, but y'all got the floor. Anybody can go.
Yeah, Trigger Mike, wouldn't that be considered constantly having to date somebody, constantly pursuing a new fleeting moment with them?
Say that one more time. I think
wouldn't constantly having to take your wife, who you already have established this king and queendom with, that you're trying to build with you and your children and all of these stocks and bonds and wealth and capital that y'all trying to establish for the generations coming after y'all, wouldn't having to take her on constant dates be representing chasing several fleeting moments?
You still on that, bro?
But I'm
no.
piggybacking off what you said.
Wait. The answer would be no.
How is that not taking several fleeting moments?
I'm gonna answer it. It is not fleeting moments. It is my attempt at maintaining intimacy with my wife. Which
there you go.
See, women do not crave sex as much as they think they do. I believe they actually crave intimacy. All right. So the one thing that men don't realize until they're well into their marriage is that we actually crave intimacy too. This is why most men who are out here in these streets don't think they can actually be with one woman. But if you learn how to be intimate, you can actually be with one woman. So me taking her out on dates, me having personal time with her, me drinking wine and looking at her, the shape of her body while she walked like I just met her, is me maintaining that intimacy, which is important to a marriage and its sustenance, is it not?
1,000%. But should that be when you have $1 in your pocket, or you've established several $1,000s?
Do you know that intimacy can be established without spending any money?
Absolutely.
Just spending time.
Intimacy can be established. Rent can't be paid.
You're not going to win. It's ghetto point. You're not going to win.
I'm not trying to win. We're just having a conversation.
Wait. So money. So wait a minute. So money is never going to solve any problem in your life except for bills.
Can I
That's not true at all.
It won't solve a relationship problem. It won't make you feel better. It can only pay the bills. That's all money can do.
Let me tell a story, EBD. Let me tell you,
that's not true.
I bet this young guy.
Then you're using money wrong. Enter the Dragon. If the only thing money can do for you is pay bills, I don't know what your financial advisor telling you. If that's how you're using it, that's horrible.
Pay bills.
From a point of view, let me tell you a story. Right?
You should be using it for wealth management. But I'll leave that alone.
I met this young guy in a bar. He was married. He was married for maybe a year or 2 years, and they just had a new baby. And I don't know why he got to talking about he's having trouble with her. And I said, "Well, what's the deal?" He said, "Well, we got the new baby. She's on me because I'm out working. I'm doing this." Just the same conversation we have. And I said, "Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you go home and tell her, listen, this weekend, I want you to find your girlfriend, go hang out. I got the kid. Set the milk up, set this out. Here's a couple of flowers, here's a couple of dollars. Go out and take it easy. I got the kid all weekend. I'm not saying stay out all night, but I got the kid." I said, "You don't know how much emotional credit you'll get for that. You don't have to do that every weekend. All you got to do is just let her know that you got her back. And those little things, you know, and see, when you, and then you said you're married, right? And I've been married for a long time too. And with my wife, I understand that women have like a bank account where you could put credits in and you could take credits out. And one of the things I know is that I try to keep the bank account filled because I'm gonna burn the credits at some point, right? So that's what I do. That's what you have to do. Hey, is your woman's bank account filled or not? And that's what you want to do. And you know, so listen, I just put a new bathroom in for my wife. And I tell people, I told them, look, man, I said, man, you guys don't know how much I'm gonna milk this shit, man. I'm gonna milk the hell out of this damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's the bathroom is nice. And so what I'm trying to say, that's just an extreme example, but that's all we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is that we need to learn how to do relationships because we don't know. And I want to make a comment going back.
That statement started with "Don't spend $1," and it ended with a bathroom being built. That's crazy. Y'all got it. This is crazy.
I want to go back.
Y'all can't even prove y'all point without spending a bunch of money.
I want to go back.
Can't even talk y'all point without saying we spent a bunch of money.
I want to go back to the statement that I heard someone saying about husbands and not having time and things of that nature because they're working or busy or what have you. It's one thing that again, that we have gotten away from is the purpose of us being married, a man finding a wife and all of that. When a man decides that he wants to take on a wife, she also becomes a part of his purpose. So he has to incorporate building and becoming one with that woman in order to reach his purpose, which is supposed to, if you're a believer, to serve the Lord ultimately. So all of that, I'm working too hard and all that. If you want to do that and that's your concentration, go ahead and do it. But don't take on a wife until all that is done. We need to be more intentional about when we have kids or relationships and all these things, because I was just telling my husband, for me, it's very simple. It's going to sound real simple, but it's hard. Why don't y'all just give each other what you want?
Yo, SBU, can I ask you a question?
Let me hold on, Ghetto.
Are you familiar with the story of Moses?
Let me get up.
Hold on, let me get done.
You religious? You familiar with the story of Moses?
I'm not religious.
Let her finish her point, bro.
You're not religious. You just brought up God, but are you familiar with the story of Moses, though?
I'm a believer of God.
Do you know about Moses?
But as far as religion and things of that nature, I rituals
but the story
and things
of
of that
Moses,
nature,
are you familiar with that story?
You tell me what part are you trying to make?
Okay, so Moses was tasked with going to free his people by the Most High, God, whatever you call him, yes? He had to go and argue with the Pharaoh, let my people go. That's a famous thing everybody knows. We've seen the Ten Commandments movie, we've seen the new Moses movie, etc., yes?
Okay.
Moses had to leave his wife. Moses' wife almost lost her faith. The faith she converted that man to, by the way, because then she was upset that he had to now leave her and leave her son to go for a very long time on this mission that the Most High commanded him to do.
Okay. What's your point?
She had to have faith that he would A, come back to her,
right,
and B, that he would be a man that still loved her when he finally returned.
Okay. Why do you think she questioned that? And I don't think she did. But why do you think
that she converted that man to that she didn't have to convert him to in the first place?
No, why do you think she questioned? You said she questioned if he would love her when he came back.
That is her self-esteem. That had nothing to do with him. He never told her he would not love her.
You said that. I'm not saying that.
Right. I'm breaking down the story to you.
So what I'm saying to you, though,
that is women
as human beings. Listen, as human beings, women and men, we all can be very selfish. We can all fall away from what we're supposed to do, our purpose or what have you. That's just human nature. That's how it's done. Even if you include your wife in her purpose or in your purpose, we all still can become selfish at any given time. It can happen. That's just how it goes. But that's not the answer, though. That's not the answer. She knew that she had. That's not the end all. Just because no, it's not. Just because we become selfish and we fall away from what our purposes are, we still have to get on our knees, repent, or whatever the situation is.
And he showed her compassion, and he still returned to her, even though she was losing the very faith that she converted him to, because he was put on a mission by the very God she taught him about.
Like I said, what is your point, though? I mean, I'm trying to get to what your point is.
Wow, you're playing like you don't understand the point of it.
I don't.
is that
Okay,
I
don't
you're
either.
right.
I'm
That
not
man
sure what
had
the
to
Book of
go
Moses
away and
means.
work for
I
a
don't-
very long time while his family and wife was still very like in an infantile stage.
None
And he
of
had
us are
to
Moses.
stop.
But no, it doesn't
He
matter.
was
That
a
was
How does that
regular
apply?
man that was
no, see,
inspired on a
the part
mission.
that
He was a regular. He wasn't a superhero. He wasn't from the planet Krypton. He was a regular man who was inspired on a mission.
But the part he's missing is that was their purpose. So all of it was purposeful. God had control of it from beginning. All they had to do was believe
So
because
you're
that
saying
was
God
the
don't
source.
have control
So
over you?
of who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
No, he's given us free will to do whatever.
That's
Ghetto,
know,
what you're
to
not.
do whatever.
I wouldn't say
Point
Moses is
is-
a typical man, average man. He was chosen by God.
But even
So,
if he is typical,
We all are chosen by God.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're
I mean, we have
not.
different beliefs.
We are
That's
not
cool,
all
but
Moses.
I've read the book, and the book says I create good
But the
and
book
evil.
wasn't
I send
about
the
you.
evil spirits just
The
like I
book
send the good
wasn't
spirits.
about you.
But y'all be believing that just send the good spirit God. I
No.
understand. That's not the book.
No, you're exactly right. He said there's two ways you can go. You can go good or you can go evil. You can go
And
God.
he's the one that sends you
There
both
definitely
ways.
are.
That's what the
No,
book says.
you can
He's
make
the one
a
that sends
choice.
you both ways.
That's what the free will does. It gives you the
No,
opportunity to
he's
choose
the
which
one
way
that
you
sends you
want to go.
both ways. That's what the book says. It don't say your free will
No,
sends
he
you both
knows.
ways.
No, you have to choose God. You have to choose God. He already sent his son.
I was very clear on highlighting that if we're living in the current time, utilizing technology, that there is no excuse that a man should not be able to create intimacy in 2023 and 19. Hold on, let me freaking finish. Or 2005. You are building a weak argument from a biblical time where in order to travel, you have to walk, use donkeys and horses. It's weak, my brother. We are dealing with modern time right now. So if you're telling me that you are focused on building and working, that's good. All respect to you. But you telling men that is enough is going to get you.
I did not say that's enough. I said celebrate with women who deserve to be celebrated with. And you keep acting like I didn't say that. I clearly agreed that man, that doctor who then took his wife on vacation with his new title and his new bag, that is a beautiful thing because that woman stood by his side as he had to put in that grind to get that title and to get that position to be able to take her on that trip. Y'all keep overlooking that part of the conversation. I'm not saying grind to you, turn to dust. I'm saying establish something and then celebrate with the woman who supported you while you were establishing it. That is what I'm saying.
A celebration is continual. It's not just isolated. Therefore,
that's your opinion, brother. That's not the definition of the word celebration. We play with words.
It is my opinion. And my opinion is that if you have the tool.
We play with words. Words matter.
Hang on. You celebrate your birthday every year.
No, I don't, sir. That's your belief. That's not my belief.
People celebrate Christmas every year. People
I don't celebrate Christmas.
Happy
The Bible say don't celebrate
Christmas.
People
celebrate every New Year.
I don't celebrate that, brother. You do. That's your business.
We're talking about the word celebrate. It's not a one-time event.
So now we're going down a rabbit hole. Let's stick to the point, right? So let's set some parameters here, right? To Miss SBU point, right? We know who. Let's get the chain of order of command here. We know that God Almighty is a master of the universe. It is undisputable, right? If he wanted to wipe everybody out, it would not even be easy. It would be very easy, right? So we understand that nobody's going to beat God, right? Nobody's going to beat the Lord and nothing, right? So when we're sitting here talking about on somebody's purpose, whatever God's purpose is for individuals, or families, or to the world, for animals, God Almighty is going to succeed in that, what he wants to succeed in. And ain't nobody finna. So therefore, we must not understand.
This free will nonsense is cat.
We must not put man and woman above God, right? Because God is ultimately, right? He is ultimately the king. Hold on. He's ultimately the king. And this is undisputable, right? This is not even argumentable. So therefore, this is his world for him to as he wants to, right? If he doesn't want that family to be together, he'll break it up, just like he did Ishmael. He told Ishmael, right? Abraham had the baby with the handmaid, right? And he wanted to keep both of them. And Sarah like, nah. The God said, here, this to your wife. Get rid of them, right? God initiated the first separation of a family, right? He told
there is no free will. Thank you.
And
it is.
The promise ain't for you. So we understand that the implication of Moses, what the brother of the ghetto point of view was saying, was he was showing the establishment of the kingdom of God supersedes any woman's selfish nature, right? A woman's selfish nature, she can want to fuck what she wants, but God will override that. And the things of God will always override even as men, right? The things we want. If God will override that. So we all have our life to live. And may God be with us. And we pray each day, right? We pray each day that God have mercy on our soul and guide us in a way where we can have a happy family and have the things that we need to survive. And maybe, because only God can keep your family together. Only God has the power. Because remember, women have sold their soul to the devil, right? Eve, in the very beginning, she saw that fruit on the tree and she committed fornication with the demon, right? The fucking serpent. She didn't think, oh, well, she even repeated. God said, don't eat of this tree. But she did it anyway because she thought it would make her better. So therefore, women have never been the ones to be able to hold the ground. But God Almighty made a way through Jesus Christ. So therefore, that love and that mercy which God has now supplied to the people who He love, it is established. The kingdom of God has been victorious. And this world, the way it's run right now, is exactly the way the Lord wanted. I digress. Mute my mic.
Let me just answer your question real quick.
Oh my! He said mute my mic.
let me answer the question real quick because I had a quick thought on this and just 30 seconds. Does a college education automatically make a woman too good for the average man? And I would say in reality, no, but in her imagination and in her mind, yes. And we see it as they tend to use their education and their degrees and their accomplishments as leverage in every argument that you have about who should be listened to and who should be respected. I have a degree. You don't have your degree. I make this money. You don't make this money. Therefore, you should be doing what I say. I shouldn't be listening to what you have to say. So that's my short answer just to the question. But just to get away from God and all that, because that's a different conversation. But when it comes to maintaining your healthy relationship, it's only two people that's going to be in it. It's going to be you and her. Kids aside, if you want to maintain that healthy balance, both of y'all are going to have to acquiesce and compromise. It's not always about money because money comes and goes, and so does jobs. As long as you stay focused on your purpose and your career, both of you should be all right. Money shouldn't really be the number one concern in a relationship, right? A relationship is about people. Banks and finance and things like that, that's going to be here until the end of time. What's not going to be here to the end of time is you two, is the man and the woman. Build something real with that. Make something unbreakable with that.
SB
said from his 3,000 square foot home.
we gonna let SB
33 get it right.
3,000 square foot home. This man talking crazy.
We're gonna let SB finish. Go ahead, SB. His ghetto point of view. Don't interrupt.
It's a lot, but I absolutely think there's no way you can get away from God when you're doing relationships. Absolutely no way. That's our purpose for being here, is to serve Him. That's the number one purpose. I think the problem is we're trying to pull away from the morals and it's falling apart. I actually think that's our actual problem. That's why we can't do relationship well. That's why women are out of control or have fallen away or cursed or whatever you want to say. I think that's why men are having problems with leadership, is because we are falling away and we are trying to put him in a box somewhere or put that entity in a box somewhere and not follow what he's telling us to do. I think that's the major problem. But again, going back to the question, I think I've already answered it. We as women can have careers and also be wives. Nothing supersedes our marriages but God. So I don't know what the dilemma is. It should be very easy and it can be very fulfilling. I've been selling real estate since 2001, but I have a husband here that's with me all the time that I work with every day of my life for 28 years. So it can be done. You just have to figure out your purpose as a wife and what you're actually doing and your purpose for being here. We sell ourselves out. Yes, sir.
Wouldn't you, in your opinion, personally, do you think more beneficial memories are built if that man employed his woman and now they work together on a daily basis, building up their own empire, or they just take money and go on dates to random places?
I absolutely have built with my husband and we've been, like I said, 28 years, and where we came from to now, it's no comparison. I wouldn't have it any other way. My husband, some of the things I hear people say, in relationships in regard to divorces and other things like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me to have loved a woman or loved a man and then it breaks, it doesn't work. And then, this chick or that Negro, I just can't see how we can speak to each other that way when we've built together. So obviously we're dropping the ball along the way and we're not putting in 100% because we don't even respect each other in relationships. So it's weird to me to hear people that are married sometimes that, you know, like I said, that doesn't work afterwards. I would always have respect for my husband and he's going to always have respect for me, whether the 28 years is it or not. And, you know, it's just, it doesn't make sense. But so I'm into building. So I appreciate what you say when you say that. I think a woman and a husband and a wife should definitely build together.
Well said. Well said. I ain't got no beef with that.
I wouldn't agree about them working together though, because too much time.
That's the best thing, brother.
Because here's why I say that. Here's why I say that. Number one and number two, personal problems can translate into your work, and that's never a healthy thing. Number one. Number two, I do believe that separation makes the heart grow fonder. Even when you're leaving for 8 hours or 12 hours a day, you miss your wife, you miss your significant other, you miss your girlfriend.
No, I've been working with my husband. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been working. We have worked together for 28 years on every business that he's had. We have worked together in some facet for the last 28 years. And it's not an issue. I want to be with my husband. I like him.
No, I get it. I get it. But would you say you're the exception or the rule?
No, I probably am definitely the exception. But this is something. Dragon. This is something that we wanted to. Right. So often people tell themselves, just like you did, I can't do that. So then you won't. But if you say that you can and you follow suit and you make that work for you, then you'll do it. And that's the part that knocks my head off about relationship.
Let me get in here because if Ling Ling can stay at that goddamn cash register while her husband cooks the chicken fried rice for your black ass, you know there's nothing stopping men and women from working together.
Come on.
It is literally just that people think about it. We promote immaturity amongst our ranks here.
Yes.
Amen.
No, I can't work with. No. You can absolutely do it. Don't put 100%. Any of those mental blocks. Don't put any of those barriers there. If see the one thing that nobody tells most people when you get into a marriage, it involves the birth of your union and the death of your ego. If you don't let your ego die, yeah, sure, you're going to be hard to work with. But both husband and wife, let that ego die and play your role. Chris Rock said it. He said, sometimes you sing lead, sometimes you on tambourine. And when you on tambourine, play it like you mean it. That means kill your ego. Today I'm in the back and I'm sweating and it's hot, but I'm making it work for my family. I'm putting on for my family. We getting that new house. Like you see what I'm saying? People, if you have the right attitude, you can make anything work. Y'all, we have to stop down talking these. I could never. Well, then think about it. Most businesses fail within the first year, right? I think 90-something% of businesses fail.
And restaurants fail more.
And I'll tell you right now, as a business owner, it's overhead problems. It's overhead problems. So imagine if your spouse was able to facilitate and say, you know what? How about I just fulfill in on this part so we don't have that overhead cost. Right. And the business viability, now the chances of it being a viable business go up tens of a percent because of that. Only your spouse can do that type of thing for you. Your cousin's not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to stop.
No, I do. You know, it helps a lot. I mean, my husband doesn't have to pay someone to do operations. You know,
no, I'm happy if you have that situation where it works. I'm just saying in most cases it doesn't, and because you have personal problems. Well, I'm speaking from my experience. You guys are speaking from yours. So if it works for you and if it works for them, that's one thing. But if it's so common and it works, everyone would be doing it. That's not what we have here. But what I have seen is the Latino was. Go ahead.
Do we have egotistical people in modern society?
Yeah,
humble people.
Yeah, very, very egotistical.
They don't know how to kill their ego, bro.
I understand, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's not the best thing. But SBU, you seem to be in a different place. Mike, you seem to be in a different place. But what I'm saying is that from my personal experience in working for a Latina who owns her own company, she's CEO, her husband is CIO, so he's kind of underneath her as everyone else in the company. So, but when they have marital issues and when they have marital problems, you see it and it manifests itself. And sometimes they take it out on people who have no business and no involvement in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the woman and the man, you know, the marriage is going to break up and fall apart. I'm saying that their marital problems seep into the business and they transform that into some other employee that has nothing to do with the smoke. You know what I mean?
But that would happen anyway, though. That would happen anyway. If the woman was upset at her husband, she's going to bring it to work anyway, even if he worked somewhere else. It's not because they were working there together.
Well, that's true, but they're working together. Everyone everybody can see it versus you're doing it behind closed doors or over the phone. That's what I'm saying.
ETD, is SBU actually the truly exception to the rule, or is it that us working together is the exception to the rule? Because people who work together, brother, if they really come to it in an earnest, trying to build spirit, they actually do very well.
That's fine, but it doesn't mean that it's perfect. Not every day is a perfect day.
It's not about perfect, brother, because your job ain't perfect.
No. Your job ain't perfect. A lot of things ain't perfect, but we're talking about like.
So why would we require perfection from that?
Do we tend to mix business for pleasure or separate these things? There's a reason why. Business with personal, not pleasure.
No,
business.
It's business is business when we're doing business, but I'm still his wife. So if someone approaches the situation incorrectly, I am still his wife. I'm going to be his wife first in that capacity. So he's going to handle that as my husband.
Breathing.
No, that's
good God Almighty.
But could I mention one thing before we go?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention that it still goes back to we lack on how to do relationships, and we know nothing about marriage. See, everything that we've been taught, or not everything, but a lot of examples of marriage that we have, it's us being separate and single. We're still operating with single mindsets, trying to do a marriage thing. So if we can throw that out the window and actually be married and actually be married, operating as one, then these things wouldn't come as a surprise. But this is going back to the blueprint of being married and how to do relationships. That's why I was saying I actually like my husband and I love my husband. So often when I hear people talk about marriage, they don't like the man or they don't like the woman. It's like they say real crazy things. And I'm like, but that is your husband, right? It doesn't sound right. So I think what we need to do is learn how to do marriage if we're really going to do it. Just learn how to do it. Make that your goal. What I know about men is y'all set goals and y'all achieve them. So why can't your wife in a good, successful marriage that requires swinging from the chandelier, why y'all can't just put that in place and make it happen?
I think it's because our goals have a certain requirement, but during a relationship dynamic, the requirements change. Well, I mean, because what you were like 10 years ago is not what you're like now. It's not what you're like 20 years from now, right?
But those are still your goals. If fine, change with it. You still setting the goals of what you and your wife want. It's not a separate situation.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The difference between your purpose as a man and fulfilling your purpose in your career versus maintaining a relationship. I'm saying that those are two different sets of requirements. That they're not really one and the same.
Explain to me. I don't understand that part.
So basically, like, let's just talk about a construction worker, right? He wants to stop using his hands so much. He wants to become an architect. He wants to become something more. That's a different set of requirements that he has to jump through in order to get from here to here. In a relationship, those dynamics change. What the woman may want year one could be different from year two, can be different from year three, can be different from year four. I don't want to go to the same place on our anniversary. Let's go somewhere else. I don't want to go vacation here. Let's go somewhere else. I don't want to do this. Let's do that. So these requirements, like I'm saying, for a woman or a relationship, they tend to change, where if it's a man's goal and his purpose and his career, they kind of stay the same and stay static. And we kind of know upfront what we want to get. Hang on. I'm landing it right here. Look, but so like I said, your career is a different type of path and requirements in order to reach that end goal versus maintaining a relationship for the long haul. Relationships are for the rest of your life. A marriage is for the rest of your life. Your career is just what you do to pay the bills.
Okay, I understand that part and what you're saying, but keep in mind, we're becoming one with each other. I'm knowing my husband. I'm adapting to my husband. He's sacrificing and I'm sacrificing with each other. It's not a big deal. So if I wanted to go to Applebee's the first year, but the third year now I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory or whatever, I don't know. We're understanding, and this is what's okay to do. He understands that we're meshing together. it's not an issue. I'm not really changing. We're just growing. We're just, I'm not changing. We're just growing. We're growing up. We're maturing. We're making more money. Whatever the situation is, I don't understand that too much because I don't think people evolve that quickly. I can say that we may mature more, the things that were very important to us coming in. Now that we see and we're married for a while, we understand that those things are not as important because we understand now that the marriage is what is most important. I think if you keep that in mind, all those things you just mentioned won't matter. And I think what happens is we forget that we're married and we still go back to our single, selfish ways and just want it to happen like that instead of just concentrating on being married. We're married.
But if a man wants to be successful in his career, there's some changes he has to make in his career path. Meaning, if I want to be a businessman or a successful businessman, I may have to fly out for a while, a few days, a few weeks, a few months. I wasn't doing that when we were dating. I wasn't doing that when we were first married. I wasn't doing that in the first 10 years of marriage. I'm doing it now in order for us to get to where we want to be financially, take care of you, this and that and the other. Your changes may be, okay, you're seeing me less, but you want more time. You can't have more time because this is my career goal. This is how I get from here to here. Your requirements may be, well, he's gone all the time. I want to see him more. Can he take me with you? That's what I'm saying. It's a different type of requirements from a man's purpose in his career goal versus maintaining a relationship in marriage.
I just don't think it would be that way, though. I don't think it'll be that way because he knows and understands.
Can I just say something on that whole plan? Listen, if you have a plan, you're talking mechanics, okay? If you have a plan and whatever the strategy is to make the plan, your wife and you involved with, as long as she's within the parameters of the plan, who cares? Right? I mean, if she changes here and changes there, as long as she's still in lockstep with the plan, okay, you got to fly, you got to do this now to make the plan happen. As long as she's within the parameters of the plan and the things you agreed to, who gives a crap?
But that's conditional. That's conditional, right? That's an if. That's a maybe. She has to.
No, it's not.
It's not what I'm saying is not guaranteed.
Well, life is not guaranteed. What are you talking about?
Okay. Go ahead, Table. Go ahead.
I think EBD, what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's sounding like the man is not communicating, because to me that sounds like no one's communicating, which seems to sometimes be the issue from what I hear. I'll tell a quick little story. I went to a marriage seminar some years ago with a girlfriend I was with for 3 years. There was 50 couples. There was a 20-question questionnaire, and me and her, out of all the couples, dating, were the only couple to get every answer right. What I found from that was that people who are married 10, 15, 20 years don't talk. And that's what I hear. I could be wrong, but it seems like men are not communicating that if there's a shift, hey, baby, this is what we talked about year one. Things are changing. There's new opportunity, whatever. What you think? There is communication required throughout a relationship to convey to the woman you're with on where we're going.
No, I agree. No, I agree with that. And communication, and I'm glad you brought that up, because communication is one of those things. It's a requirement that women have communication with their men, right? But when, like I said, if your career path is taking you somewhere else, you're not communicating as often because he's not there, he's not present. You don't feel as anything there. Yes, there's a telephone. Yes, we have Skype. Yes, we have Zoom and all that, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's really not the same. So what I'm saying is, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm just saying that that things change, feelings change. I think marriage. Marriage is a serious commitment, right? But even in the process of dating, like your career can take you. Your career can take you different places.
Marriages, yes, it is. Marriages change. I started off as a little girl with my husband. I had to learn how to not be a tomboy, how to cook, and how to do everything. Don't look at me like that, lady. And I've been with him since being with him is being with him.
You know, just hearing you right now.
No, you like to run your mouth. I think a lot of people up here like to hear themselves talk.
I miss Auntie J.
No, listen, man. I legit was like, "Is this Auntie J?" My heart like did a little flutter. Oh man.
Yeah, I miss
So,
Auntie J. I hear that. I heard the same thing you did. I'm like, bruh, is
I
that?
was like, oh,
But
Where has Auntie J been? She's been missing for a long time.
she
bro,
passed away.
she passed away, man.
She passed
For
away.
real?
Yeah.
She when did she pass away?
You
Wow.
logged 10 YouTube hours a day, but you didn't know that Auntie J passed away.
I didn't know at all. I didn't know.
Probably been about 4 months ago, maybe 4 or 5.
Something like
4
that.
months
Something
ago.
like that.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
What
And
happened?
I think it was pretty sudden too. I don't know.
It was. I think it was an illness or something like that.
Surgery, no?
Oh, surgery?
He had surgery, but the complications during the surgery.
I didn't know that.
Wow. May her soul rest with our ancestors. I didn't know that at all.
But EBD, let me say this, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about that. Nothing supersedes your marriage. So whatever desire the husband or the wife may have, it can't supersede the marriage. That's all.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
All right. We got Ikene. Ikene don't want to say nothing.
I have something to say. The thing is this, right? SB and EBD, you go right in your approach. None of you are wrong at all. But this is what I'm going to say to SB, right? I've always said it before. I've discussed it with you guys. It's not always good for a man and a woman to run a business, because you take your home to the business and you take the business to your home. That is why I always say to people, show me a business that is successful out there that is run by husband and wife. Almost non-existent.
I can show you
Most of those business, you can show me one, but there are millions that I can show you that doesn't involve husband and wife, and they are very, very successful. Not that men don't like to do business with their wives. We love it. But we don't want to argue at home, and we'll argue our work and argue for everybody that comes into the store and argue about everybody that comes to the business. And then the man is jealous, the woman is jealous. Come on, man. You see what
Bill
I'm saying,
Gates,
right?
Bezos, Zuckerberg, all divorced.
Business. All divorced.
With their wives.
Running business with their wives.
Zuckerberg is not divorced. Why are you Zuckerberg?
No, Zuckerberg is not divorced. Zuckerberg never run business with his wife. He runs a charity with her. Bill Gates runs a charity with his wife. All those things you're talking about is charity. There's a big difference between charity and business.
I mean, Jeff Bezos. Don't do it.
Let me look up Zuckerberg. Hang on.
If you can't do it, don't do it.
SB.
Yes,
running on SB internet YouTube is different from running a full-fledged business. You can't run a full-fledged business with your husband. You can.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on for a minute. Let me make sure I understood what you said. Did you say running a YouTube business with your husband is not a full-fledged business?
No. Is that it cannot compare with running a corporation. It cannot compare with running a full-fledged.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Now, do you think when I talk about me and my husband running a business, we talking about our YouTube business?
I don't know what business, but the one that I know that you guys are running is the YouTube one. If there is anything beside that, I don't know.
You should
ask. Maybe. Well, if you talk more about it, then I will know.
My husband and I own a corporation. Actually, we have $1 million corporation that we run. Yes, sir.
And guess what?
I've done it since 2005. Why would I talk about it? When I tell you something, I'm telling you for a reason, and you don't have to know exactly what we do. But just because we having a conversation, my husband and I own a security firm. We've been doing it since 2005. But prior to that, we have several other businesses also.
But guess what? If you talk about business, is something you talk about, so that way I might be your client tomorrow. You don't know that. You see, but you're not talking about it.
I'm not going to come on my relationship channel and talk about my husband's and I's security firm. That's not what I'm here to do.
What about if I want to hire a security company tomorrow for my clients? How would I know that? You see
Well,
what you're talking about now?
You would Google the security firm in your area.
I wouldn't know because I don't know you guys.
Listen, you don't have to know. Listen, you do your Google search or your LinkedIn or whatever you got to do. And if you call that number and I happen to answer, then you know you got the right business. If not,
Security boss, why are you explaining something to a man who didn't know Auntie J was already passed away?
You're right. I'm gonna tell you why. I like.
Let me give you
Guys, I gotta be honest with you. This is a serious thing. You know why I say it's serious, right? I own clothing line business, right? And guess what I do? I talk about it. I don't hide it because you don't know who is there. I own transportation business. I talk about it.
Can I read the super chats now?
But listen, the business that I'm in, I don't think that many people that I come across in these platforms could actually benefit from my business. It's a corporation. I do corporate business only.
And you'd be surprised I own a transportation company that I can actually hire your company to protect my customers because my customers sometimes need security.
Earn your leisure next week. Earn your leisure next week. Okay. Can I read the super chat now?
Please do.
You messing up my business now. Like, literally, you won't even let me make money. Goddamn. All right, Alpha 8. Oh, I know. A5 in the building. All right, $10. His ghetto point of view sounds like a Hebrew Israelite with an Old Testament Bible traditionalist mindset.
All right.
Big Ant, $10. Hey, SB, I'm so glad you're here. EBD is dating Sukiana. Can you talk some sense into him? Ooh. Alpha 8 became a YouTube member. Welcome to the Green Gang. Much love to you. All right, we still going strong. OG, you came through. You got a word for us or what? The OG Speed took a minute. I see you got your 1968
profile
pic. Look at.
Well,
go ahead,
it might be 1990. We won't go to 60. Might be 1990.
With that haircut, probably. With that haircut,
yeah, 19. Oh no, that's a bald fade. It works in 2023.
It does. I still get it. Go ahead.
You got that vampire cut. Were you looking for a blacklist roll or something?
Like with this here, this Eddie Munster right here.
Yeah, Eddie Munster, blacklist roll. I don't know what it is, but anyway,
he like white girl. He like white girls. So
well, he go get him with that haircut. EBD. I think when you start talking to a security boss, you were just talking about the process, bro. It all works together.
What do you mean? What
Even
process?
though,
we talking? Wait. What do you mean?
Okay, let me break it down for you. What happens in the marriage is all the process. It don't make no difference if it's business, relationship, kids. It's all the process. Everything changes. Everything in a marriage, when you have kids, that changes. When you have to move from one spot to the next spot, that changes. If you have to change job, that go change. That's all the process of a marriage.
I think he said the people change.
No, I think, wait. Any process you are doing,
okay,
you go change with the process.
Right.
You get better as you doing something different. You get better at it. That's part of the process. You don't come in, you don't get a doctorate degree and go in the emergency room and know anything really. You just experiment. That's part of the process. Don't take your ass to the emergency room unless you have to. Get yourself a family doctor or something. At least that doctor knows what the hell he's doing. But in the emergency room, you might get anything. So that's part of the process.
So where's the disagreement?
There's no disagreement, but I think what you was trying to do was separate something that was part of the marriage process in the first place.
You mean as far as the requirements?
Everything, the career, everything is part of the process.
Right. No. The overall point, I totally agree with. What I'm saying is that the requirements for both is different.
Well, when you understand the process, there's no difference. And that's what she was trying to break down to you. When you become one, all of it becomes part of the process. It don't make no difference. It's different. Look, if she has to go out and re-educate herself on something Excuse me, stop hollering in my door. Okay, y'all know I got 30-something people up in the house.
It's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Because you're my
Okay.
dad right now, so go ahead.
Okay, so again, so whatever you do in a marriage, it's all gonna be part of the process. It's not gonna be anything different. Anything that you change, you both go have to learn something about it. I'm just saying, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I don't think what she was trying to say was that in a marriage, whatever happens to it is part of the marriage. You can't separate it. It is still part of the marriage because there's communication got to happen. You don't just up and say, well, you know what, my back is hurting a little bit and I can't work them young guys because they beating the shit out of me at the job and I can't get but half this work done. So then you say to yourself, I'm going to use my brain. All right. I've been around in this company for 15 years. I should be able to start my own company up now and then get younger guys to work for me. That would be part of the the conversation, but that still would be part of the process of the marriage. If you didn't, if you wasn't married, you wouldn't have to talk to anybody, but your business partner. But when you are married, she becomes your business partner, your person that you condone. You have conversations about the plan. You know what I mean? And y'all work that out. It's never is going to be where it just magically happen and you just go do it. You know, that's what single people do. But part of the process is the marriage.
I got you. I guess the reason why I explain it the way I explain it is because in her situation, she's been working alongside her husband for 28 years. I'm saying she's in a different position than most marriages are today, where she works here, he works there. The professional requirements are different than the relationship requirements, and that's why they don't make it and they don't last. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. No argument.
Right. Yeah.
Woo.
Mike, either you losing weight or your ears don't got bigger. Which one?
I'm definitely not losing weight. The latter.
Okay, your ears don't got big. Okay, I got you.
Right.
Makes you look slimmer.
Appreciate it. We're going to get the last question rolling for the night. All right. So on the Ebony K Williams video, a lot of people, and I guess maybe there's some validity to this. That's why we have smart people on the panel to break this down. They always allude to the fact that the pool of marriage-minded people is so small. You know, I'm marriage-minded and I'm a bit different. I look at it different. I feel like a lot of people are afraid. That's it. They're just afraid. I feel as though if you look throughout history, you will find 5 things to let you know that a civilization existed: birth, death, war, taxes, marriage. Since the beginning of time, people have paired off to procreate, raise children, usually in a union under the man's name or leadership. That's a tale as old as time, right? So I just think people are afraid because they don't know how to make that institution work. And when you don't have something or you fear that you won't acquire it, in this day and age, you have to pretend you don't like it. You actually have to pretend to be against it. And that's what I think most people are doing. I think they're actually marriage minded. I know those looks that I get when I'm in the grocery store. I did it today. When I'm with my son and they look at my ring finger, I know what this black man is thinking. Like, damn, how do I get that? How do I get like him? How do I take it from this situation to over there? I can read and interpret those signals. So I'm not sold that there are not a lot of marriage-minded people out there. So the question on the floor is the pool of marriage-minded and family-oriented people really as small as most people think? Anybody can have.
No. I think people get blinded by these YouTube spaces. I think what you hear here is a silent minority or a loud minority of folks. I think that people contemplate marriage all the time, especially people in relationships. It's just a matter of, I think what's true is navigating the waters to find a person that you feel compatible to with because of the competition, right? But I still think it's up to the men who are afraid because of the laws. I think a lot of men are aware that it's a bad deal if you don't do it right. Right? Every state has a loaded gun they give to a woman to put at your head And I think any man of means has to worry about that. But if you're starting out with nothing, then it doesn't matter. I don't have a prenup. You know, I think a lot of men who have something to lose have to make that calculation. You know, because, you know, if a woman loves you today and she's like all lovey-dovey and shit, but that 5 years from now it changes. We all see that. So I just think people make the calculation. I think also a lot of men who do get married, they don't do it for the right reasons. They're doing it for sexual reasons. They want to lock down a woman because she's aesthetically pleasing to them, and they don't do a proper vetting. So I think there's fear. I just think that everybody's cheating on each other. You know, women cheat on men, men cheat on women. I think if you just have a girlfriend and boyfriend, you really have to vet. I think the vetting process has to be better, you know, and you got to really find people who are marriage minded to talk to. Because if you just go to regular people, there's a lot of people who have good things to say about marriage, depending on who you talk to. You know, and some people.
Well, brother Frank. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brother Payne, they didn't have prenups when you got married. That was way back in the time when Moses brought down the Ten Commandments.
They put it on the tablet.
They didn't have it, brother. Come
when
on,
God wrote the rules with his finger on the tablet,
let's tell the truth and shame the devil now, okay? But anyway, depends. You know, depends what circle you are. I know overall marriages now. I don't know overall kids is 1.5. I don't know how to get 1.5 kids in one family, but they're working on it. But I just think we hang in this street right here a lot. And if you hang in a certain street, you adopt to the conversation. But I think when we go outside of this right here and we are family members and we deal with real people in real time, then I think the numbers start to change. Even though the marriage is down, but I think when you are in this sector right here, you can get to understand, understanding, well, man, damn, it's rough out there. I mean, you know, I gotta, you know, really hide some money, you know. You have wives hiding money from husband hiding money. If you start listening to this stuff, you see what I'm saying? We got to understand a lot of this is entertainment. I've been in this ever since, I think, 2012 on Facebook, and then here 2018. And if I really listen to this stuff, I pretty much would probably take an extra insurance policy out on my wife. So, but this is the type of information we get over here. You'll probably get the same information if you were in prison. There's probably the marriage is real low in prison now. So it just depends where you hang at and you having this conversation. I mean, when I go up in the mosque, there's not enough women to marry. So that's what I'm saying. It depends where you hanging at. I mean, you asking the girl hanging out on the corner who's twerking at 12 o'clock she ain't trying to get married in the first place. She's trying to break up your marriage. So what I'm saying is, when we start having these conversations, we will have to be honest. What fork of the road we talking about?
Yeah, let me finish what I was going to say real quick. One of the reasons why I know how marriage is declining is because I keep my family tree, right? So when I look at from the greatest generation to the silent generation, baby boomers where I'm at, Gen Xers, millennials, I can see in the family the rate of marriage actually going down exponentially, right? And so I don't think any of our millennials are married just yet. Some Gen Xers are. And Gen Z, forget about it. You know, none of them are married. So I can see the decline in marriages and people who want to get married. Now they're having kids. And I'm the one saying, hey, listen, maybe you guys should get married if you ain't going nowhere. They look at me like I'm crazy, right? And some of them might, you know, start to do that because I tell them why they should formalize their relationship. But that's what I see. So I'm looking at evidence of how that degradation is going. And that's outside of the YouTube spaces, right? So I see it in real life in my family. And, I'm still an advocate for marriage, but I'm starting to see a little bit that some of those arrangements have to change because of the laws that we have. And men are really afraid. Women are afraid for different reasons, but men who have anything are really afraid, right? The news is just really bad.
I think that to answer the question, if we're gonna, I would create a divide. I think that if you're talking to an older demographic of people, marriage is still very much a respected, honorable institution. I think that if you're talking to people who are under 30, 25, who live in this modern era with technology, I think that the examples that they live through, because I interact with a lot of people and they don't see marriage being the glue. They've came through divorces, they've came through the infidelities, they've came through the demise of the relationships that their parents or grandparents or uncles or whoever did not sustain. So I agree with OG that it does depend on where you are. However, a lot of marriages, people who are married 20 years. I mean, what, Steph Curry and his parents, they were together almost 30 years and just poof. Like, so what you're combating is that I think that, yes, if you're talking to an older demographic, absolutely, because that was the goal. That has shifted. I don't believe that people who are under 30, that's the goal. I think most people just want to be able to provide themselves with a lifestyle that they can respect, enjoy, and then create something that is marriage-like. And that's
right. I would say that men more think about marriage than women do. Only because for men, it is first of all, I believe marriage as an institution of the highest honor that any two people can achieve, right? Because what men are saying is, come with me. Let me ask you a question. Will you allow me to take care of you and any children that we have with our family for the rest of my life and beyond my life? Meaning, not only are you dedicated and committed to one woman and the family that you build together, but even in your passing, you make sure that they are okay with insurance and things like that and business and setup. You're saying you're taking care of somebody beyond your own life. So yes, for a man, it's that serious. For a woman, not so much. The reason is because it's usually conditional, especially modern day. Old school, the husband was the prize. They understood the value of a man. They understood that they were being taken care of for the rest of their lives. That's why they don't believe in divorce. Why don't you leave him? Well, nah, this is my when they talk, when a wife talks, she always says, this is my husband. Her language and her thinking changes to, this is my possession that I own for the rest of my life. This is my husband, meaning he's mine. Nobody else's he's not gonna take care of anybody else but me and these kids that we created together, right? That's pretty much the commitment that we make in a marriage, in an institution. What women come from a different angle, right? Women can come from the angle of modern women, not traditional women. Modern women think of, they want, what do you want in your husband? 6 figures. He's got to have a house. He's got to have his own business. He's got to have all this crap in order to qualify for me, rather than, well, gee, I just want a good man. That used to be the answer when you asked them, like, what kind of man do you want to marry? Yeah, a good man. That was good enough. Being a good man in the traditional era was good enough. Now it's being a good man, an average man, disqualifies you as even a mate or a date or a role in the sack. Like we don't even need to look your direction, because if you're not everything in my imagination, I have no business dealing with you. And even if you were everything in my imagination, right? Even if you were everything in my imagination, if that ever changes one day or someday, I can just up and leave you, pack a bag, take half your stuff with me, and move on to the next guy.
Add to that, because I'm a little conflicted by this, because I hear the message of so many people being against marriage in these spaces. But I did a show a year ago, last August, not the one previous 1 year ago, and it was called The Standard. I had 4 individuals there. It was Cam, Jedi Mike, Cheeky Banter, and Bloom and Ebony. Now, out of those four, three of them have got married within this year. 3 of them have got married. Cam married JB, Jedi Mike married Tamika, and I don't know Blooming Ebony's husband. But to me, those 4 individuals, they are the standard. And 3 of those couple, 3 of them have gotten married. So I'm saying to you that marriage is an option, and they are still getting married in these spaces. Now, to me, that's a high number. that number is pretty high considering we're in this space within the period of time, because it's been within a year that they've met each other, dated, and married. So I can't say marriage is not something that they're doing, because they've done it, and all of them think totally different than they did 2 years prior, or a year prior, which was 2 years ago. Totally different. If you can go back 2 years ago and hear Jonathan Barronville talk about a woman getting married, it was crazy. But now he's like going crazy talking about how much of an asset his wife is because she put shampoo in the shampoo bottle in the shower without asking him, did he need it? So it's totally changed his mind. Same for Jedi Mike, So I can't really say I think people are still getting married. I just think you have to find that right person. And I don't know what puts it together or how it's done, but those people are the standards. They are married and they're loving it. So
this is what I gotta say.
I gotta say. Excuse me, Mr. Nikkei. I'm sorry for always talking.
You all right, Auntie? Go ahead.
But nobody let me. How you gonna tell me what's your name up there that always got the sword, the Kung Fu fighter?
Into the Black Dragon. You can call me EBD for short, though. That's cool.
Hell, I've been married, and I ain't need nobody to tell me I love that man. I loved him simply because I loved him. Now ask me how long I've been married.
How long you been married?
Probably long enough than I can remember, for 42 years.
Very good. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I like that.
Yeah, y'all up here and y'all talking about the wrong thing.
Hey, what's the secret? What kept your marriage together for so long? What's the secret? Let us know.
He was my best friend. I was 2 years old and I kicked him out of her church. And my daddy said, "You gonna make that boy home?" And as I made him home, I fell in love with him. Real life shit.
Miss Sherry, what are you doing right now?
Knocking my own damn business. What you do?
You sound like you got the phone to your ear while you dozing off and talking to us. Just making sure.
I'm sorry, I'm leaning back and forth. I'm sorry, Trigger Mike. If you want to go to wife school, I can send you to wife school in less than 5 minutes with one thing.
Do I want to go to wife school?
Well, if you want to go to husband school, I can send you to husband school in 5 minutes. Mind your own damn business. Just mind your own business. You sit back and mind your own damn business.
Is that
Mike, I thought you was playing a trick on us. You was playing a 45 record on 33. But anyway,
go ahead, OG.
Anyway, I would have to say overall that the last 4 people talked. They were correct. I mean, just like I say, it depends what spaces you are in, is what information you go get. And yes, men are getting smarter on the old aquatic laws that gives women more benefit to walk away than men. But we can't use that as an excuse. And the reason why we can't, because Our Payne didn't have it in his marriage, but they do have prenups and a lot of other things that you can protect yourself. So there's no reason to be afraid. But I think too many times we use actors, entertainers, rappers, and we try to make that real life people, which they are. But y'all got to understand, entertainment is a whole different game. They pass around women, and men use the same women like they going to the store getting condoms. You know, I mean, it's just passed around like that in Hollywood. And y'all should understand that when you see one person go to the next person, the next person, it's as if there's a shortage of women, that everybody in the entertainment business got to pass around a woman 3 or 4 times. So y'all are using the wrong standards for the common people. You know what I mean? The common woman is not walking down the street talking about she want a man who makes $100,000, unless she's on 42nd Street or Figueroa. But that's another different conversation. I'm just saying that we blow everything over the table, and we're acting as if, like there's a lot of guys on here, not 6-figure guys. Come on, let's be honest. But they get up here and talk like they got something to protect, and they living in their mama's basement taking MEDS, and they ain't kicked in yet, and they playing the PlayStation. But they have you believe that every woman they ever walked in their life did pretty much did a hex on them and made them crazy. But we got to get away from them type of conversation, because we do have too many other people who are successful. And a lot of these guys who are talking about that, they are married themselves. But it's absolutely like, I'm trying to keep somebody else from getting married. Yes, you have to be cautious in anything you do in life. But that don't stop you from doing the best thing you can. And since there's no other creature on this earth that we could partner up with, we're going to have to partner up with each other, man and woman. That's what I'm speaking of. So until we find somebody coming from Mars or Pluto, or you waiting for the next model of the 536 robot, you going to have to get hooked up with the opposite sex. So until we able to do something different, we got to work with what we have to work with. Now, if you just want to go and get married in front of your preacher and you don't want to bring the government inside of it, that's in God's eyes, okay? Now, as far as your ancestors and all that other stuff that you have, it may not be protected even there, but at least you can do it different. And I got faith in the younger generation. I think they're going through some stuff. I just left the gas station in California. It's $7.15 for 9/10 of a gallon. I don't know what it is on y'all time, but there's gonna be a lot of people hooking up if this this stuff keep going the way it is.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm on that same thing too. Rough times, sure know how to make people send that "Hey big head" text.
Can they let him
This is what I'm trying to say, right? If you look at this space, the most popular women on YouTube are single and baby mamas. Have the highest view, the highest subscription, but the married ones have no subscription. That's number one. Then number two, I've had so many women say this. Why didn't my mama leave my dad when he was doing this or doing that? And in conclusion, black women, most of them don't want to either get married or scared to get married. We have to tell ourselves the truth. Women either scared to get married or don't want to get married at all. And then the reason why I'm telling you this is this. If you look at the society, most black men want to marry. So anybody that is telling me that the black man doesn't want to get married does not know what the hell that person is talking about. Because most of them, I haven't seen any black man today that hasn't told me yet, that hasn't and then maybe brought it to my attention that he doesn't want to get married. I haven't seen almost every single black man that I know in America that I've talked to want to get married or they are already married. But most of the women are single with kids. So it comes to a time, the results tells you who is the problem. We have to know that the result tells us who is the problem. I was discussing with some group of ladies last week, and we had the same conversation. And at the end of the day, what did they say to me? They are the problem. But how many women will accept that? Very few will accept that. Because if you don't want a man to tell you what to do, you got a big problem. I have some people that told me, hey, but the way you talk is controlling. I said, hell yeah, I got to control. I'm a man. It's my last name. You're too masculine. Yes. So if somebody go through that door, don't you want me to be masculine? You want me to show emotion? You want me to be masculine? Don't want me to show fear. You want me to go out there and fight a guy, but then when I have to talk to you, now I'm controlling. I gotta be controlling all the way around because that is your security. But the thing is this, we have a group of people that just don't want to live under the command or control of somebody else. They just don't want to do it. We all know that.
I agree with you, Ikene. That was my only pushback for SBU. Not that that wasn't a testament to those young men finding wives, but I think that I personally, I'll just speak for me, I wouldn't celebrate it yet because getting married is easy. I think anybody can get married. I think very few can maintain longevity and do it 10, 20 years successfully. So getting married, we know that. That's easy. So, yeah, I like you. You like me.
A weekend in Vegas. Sure. Look, mom.
Sure. But I would like to talk to those individuals if possible in a decade. And that's my only pushback.
Yeah,
I hope I do. I hope I get to talk to them.
I think so. When you were saying, SB, that we don't understand relationships, I think also a bigger picture is we don't know what marriage is. We lost the meaning of like what a marriage actually is and what it isn't. Because I believe like we come up in a generation where women are influenced by media to an extent that they actually think your real life relationship with your man is supposed to be a reflection of what you saw on TV or some movie somewhere, rather than actually waking up in the real world, knowing that you're not going to have the baddest name brand clothes. You're not supposed to be driving the fancy car. You're supposed to be living within your means, sticking to a budget, making sure that your whole lifestyle is healthy, not just your fantasies, your wants, and your needs. No one should have everything that they want. They should have everything that they need and require.
Now, I can agree with that, but I think what women are doing is holding out and waiting, or they feel as though that they will be able to have everything they desire, also need. So that's kind of what they're holding out for.
But I don't know what the brother. Oh, I don't know who the brother is. The one with the African accent, but I don't know if I don't know if I'd be agreeing along with him or not, but he sounds so good. It sounds like a Nelson Mandela speech. So I just want to give him a compliment on that,
okay? But you know,
minus the prison. But
EBD, let me say this. What I try to do is explain to women, when you build with a man, you can have all of that. You just got to put the time and the work in. You can, but it's not often that you're going to find a person that is a man that is that complete. And if he is, he should be signing a prenup with you. I think that's just the only way to go.
They want the completion. They don't want to do the completing. It's for them. It's the man that's supposed to do and toil all the hard work and then make something of himself. And then here comes the woman as some sort of reward, rather than the woman that you've known for 10, 20 years, that's been by your side when you were at your lowest, when you were nothing, you were nobody, you had nothing, you had 2 nickels, you didn't have your own apartment, maybe you're still living with your parents, and then she's progressed with you all the way, or seen you grow, or been a part of that growth. Then I believe a true marriage would be, in that sense, it's just a piece of paper and an event. Your relationship that you've maintained for that long, 15, 20 years from before you got married, I believe that's the real relationship. The marriage part is just the final step in evolution in your relationship. And you've vetted this woman to such an extent that she knew you when you had nothing. So when you have everything, she sees you the same way. You're still the same dude.
I agree.
I think they said something very pivotal, and I know this to be true, that a lot of women don't like the instruction of the man. They think a relationship, I would argue most women probably have been in relationships with underdeveloped men or not men, because when you get with a man, he's structured, like his life is structured. So certain things that you do is gonna alarm him. He's gonna question you. He's gonna, how did you come to that thought? Why do you think that was a good idea? And for most women that I've even encountered, this is like plaguing their little, emotions. They are just flabbergasted. They can't understand how so many guys that they deemed that they were successful with, because they acquired a relationship, even though it failed or they ended it, now they meet you and you're like, no, that doesn't work here. So a lot of them, I would say, are relationship fatigue. They never really had real relationships, in my opinion. But I digress.
Most likely lust or dating.
Because they were having sexual relationship. They didn't have relationship. So it's 2 different things. Sexual relationship and relationship are 2 different things. You just met a guy and then you start having sex, and the next thing you start programming yourself. You start asking yourself, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then the guy doesn't even have the time to discuss structure or tell you structure, because he's busy enjoying the damn thing. And he's 16 years old, 17, 18, because that's when people start having sexual relationship from that young. So how is a 16-year-old boy with a 15-year-old girl gonna know structure? By the time she turned 19, by the time she turned 17, she already pregnant, and he's 18. There is no structure. By 23, they all gone their separate ways. Maybe she has 2 kids. She never knows structure. The baby daddy doesn't even know structure, because men don't know structure by the time they turn 30. No man has a structure at the age of 30. Look at it this way. In your 20s, you still trying to get your dad to do something for you. In your 30s, you shock about life, because now you grown all of a sudden. Men begin to develop structure by their 40s, late 30s, going into 40. Depend on who raised them, depend on the parents, depend on their dad. But if the dad and the mom raised a man, usually by their late 20s, they're beginning to develop structure. And when a woman with no structure comes in contact with a man with structure, she panics, because she's just seen structure for the first time. She doesn't understand. What is this? And then she starts saying that the guy is corny because he has structure. Corny men have structure, because that's what you call corny, because you have structure. And then she doesn't want to live in that structure because her mama never lived in any structure.
That's called a good man. That's just called a good man.
Yeah, and her dad is a crack addict. No structure.
I know, right?
Her dad was never around. You see what I'm saying? Her dad was never around. You see what I'm saying? There's no dad, no structure.
Let Anissa get in there. Let Anissa get in there.
I had a father, Nick. His name was Dad. I had a father. His name was Dad. That's what I called him every day. And that's what I've been calling him. Watch what you think you're judging other folks?
I'm sorry, I judge people. That's what I do. They know me here.
Well, you go ahead, because your judgment don't mean nothing there, nothing to me.
I don't care.
Not a
I
damn
judge
nutter.
people. That's
I
what I
don't
do
know.
because
It
guess
means
what?
not a damn nutter.
People judge me. That's how I got it right. If you didn't judge, if I wasn't
I
judged when I was a little
told
kid,
you
guess what would have happened? I would have been passing the street just like some of if my friends died in the street. I would have died in the street too. But guess
oh,
what?
I'm a
I
good
shame
God.
people. That's what I do. I shame
That's
people.
what you want us
I
to be
tell them the
on.
truth. And I don't give a
Can I
damn how you
get
feel.
please?
Go over there and get them goddamn Chinese men from digging your kids out of landmines and watch your mouth talking to me. Because if African men was that good, why all Africans ain't in Africa?
Just like Americans are in Africa too. That's the thing. You
We
see what
don't
I'm saying?
want to be there.
But
We
because
don't
you here,
want to be
guess
there.
what? We don't
But
even
why
want you
you
over
here?
there because we
Why
don't need
you
you
here?
over there. You see what
Why
I'm saying?
I don't know why, but
you?
I want these
Well,
two at my Thanksgiving
yeah.
table.
And
Yo,
you do
I don't
it
even know what's going on. This
I just thought we
might
tuned into
be
another radio station or something.
yeah. Y'all trying to get Fight Club started. These are Auntie J vibes like a mug. All right, listen. I think that's Auntie J.
don't ask my mother and father for what you need, and then when we give you what you need, you tell us we ain't nothing. Not a nothing.
Somebody call the nursing home now. She got her phone out of lockup. Somebody call her right now. Andre Dale, $2. Sex before you vet equals a mess. Distortion now rules. My man Big Ant, $10 says, so that's what Ikene looked like outside of the car. God damn, that's true. At least he stopped driving at night, man. We're gonna call that a show, y'all. I'm tired.
All right. Yeah,
All
I
right,
can't.
man,
I don't know why, but I just imagine Sherry beating her. He can with a big old person.
Miss Sherry,
Like
you are
that.
welcome anytime when you are coherent. All right, so we welcome
Sound
you.
good
Thanks
to
to
me.
everybody coming up. This was an awesome show. Thank y'all. Thanks for everybody that super chat and supported. SB, thank you for coming up. It's always a pleasure. OG coming through, and of course all of the regulars. Even Anissa. Anissa came through to spend time with us this evening. Thank y'all for all of your views on this topic. Keep spreading the positive message. I love these panels where we get to talk about substance in the community, not just toxicity and whatnot. So I think people get a lot from this. What do y'all think?
I agree.
Second emotion.
All right.
It gets a
good
little
night,
toxic
everybody.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
do.
his ghetto point of view was killing me tonight, but he's a cool dude. Everybody's always welcome on the Trigger Mike Show and the Lapeef Network. I thank y'all. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ooh, I almost left myself up there with Miss Sherry. Oh no. All right, we calling that a night, everybody. Appreciate all of your support on Lapeef. I'm tired as hell. On the Lapeef Network. We will be back tomorrow. What is our topic? Because I've been seeing a lot going on in these YouTube streets, really the Instagram streets. Tomorrow's topic is how to keep a man. Ooh, I'm gonna trigger y'all with this one. Tomorrow's topic, we're going live at around 12:30 p.m. The topic is how to keep a man. I've been hearing y'all talk about this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing. And a lot of people have been saying his ex-girl looked better. But attraction is only what attracts a man. Oh, I'm sorry. Beauty is only what attracts a man. And it's not what keeps him. So we're going to talk about how do you keep a man? We're going to have the dudes on the panel let you know, hey, what attracted you and ultimately what kept you. That's a dope topic, right? So we'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank y'all for all that you do. Thank you for your support and your patronage. Y'all have a good night. I'm out. I'm tired. Y'all go to sleep too. And all my people in the UK, y'all can watch this back. This was a dope episode. Thanks to everybody that came up. Holla at y'all tomorrow.